This podcast is brought to you by HiDive. HiDive is your source for summer anime exclusives such as Tada Never Falls in Love, Review Starlight, Real Girl, and more. Watch now with your friends with HiDive's live chat feature, which syncs up the video so you're always on the same page. At an incredible $4.99 a month, you won't want to miss out. Head over to HiDive.com today to start your 7-day free trial and make your anime addiction worse.
来てくれてありがとう You're listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Take your anime addiction to the next level at aaapodcast.com/join. And now, here are your anime addicts.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 436th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, where we are dedicated to making your anime addiction worse. My name is Kazuo, and I'm joined today by Enzo in New York. Enzo, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm super glad to be here. I almost didn't make it, but here I am. I'm really happy about it.
It has been a chaotic day. We also have Mandy here. Mandy, what's up?
Hey, what's going on? I've been sick this week, but I'm trying to get better.
Oh,
now,
dude, I hope you feel good.
Before we continue, let me make sure, because as anybody who's watching live now will know, Mitsuki is currently not here with us. He is traveling the world as the wanderer that he is, and he has put me in charge of running all of the electronics, which I have no idea how to do, but we're making the best of it. So let me first make sure that this video is even working, because YouTube says we're live, but who knows what that means? That could mean anything. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. Let's see.
A doctor degree required to stream on YouTube, boys.
You need to have a doctor in order to stream on YouTube. So let's see here. It could be. Let's see, because I didn't see it in my my YouTube's like subscriber list here. So I wonder if.
I also don't see it.
Yeah, I also don't see it on my subscriber list as well.
All right, it may be. Here's the thing. We may have to start it from the top, which is fine. Oh, you know what? It's unlisted. All right, let's end the stream. Hold on. This episode is brought to you by HiDive. HiDive is your source for summer anime exclusives such as Tada Never Falls in Love, Review Starlight, Real Girl, and more. Watch now with your friends with HiDive's live chat feature, which syncs up the video so you're always on the same page. At an incredible $4.99 a month, you won't want to miss out. Head over to HiDive.com today to start your 7-day free trial and make your anime addiction worse. This episode is also brought to you by JList.com. Currently, they have the September snack box available. So head over to jlist.com to get a taste of Japanese culture with our snack boxes. Traditional treats, trendy snacks, even convenience store exclusives can all be yours within your reach. See what makes Japanese snacks so special while experiencing exotic chocolates, fun traditional dagashi snacks, and more. Some of the snacks available right now through the September snack box are March of Koala, which is caramel flavored, Glico Kratz, which is consomme flavored, Koikeya Azuki potato chips, Lotte Tapo milk flavor, and Zylish gum, which is an aqua cool flavor. So head over to jlist.com and grab yourself a snack box.
You're listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Take your anime addiction to the next level at aapodcast.com/join. And now, here are your podcast anime addicts.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 436th episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast, where we are dedicated to making your anime addiction worse. My name is Kazuo, aka the one-man band over here, and I am joined by two of my best buddies in the whole wide world. We've got Enzo in New York. Enzo, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm super glad to be here. I just got done hanging out with Mitsuki the whole weekend here in New York, but now I'm here with you guys.
That's awesome. We may discuss that in our after party. We've also got Mandy over in Cincinnati, Ohio. Mandy,
hello.
How are things with you?
I'm doing okay. I was sick last week, so I might be a bit stuffy, but I'm trying my best.
All right, well, it's good to have you with us.
I feel better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you're feeling better. Of course, you can always find us on our website, aapodcast.com. Go to aapodcast.com/join to create an account and sign up for all of the additional content we have, such as the Hobby Addicts, after parties, hentai episodes even. So there's a lot of extra fun stuff for you over on the website. You can also find us on Facebook. Facebook.com/groups/AAA podcast is where you can go to hang out with all of the thousands of other anime addicts. You can also flip over to the Discord server, which you can find in the Facebook. You can also just find it at the very top of our website. So go to Facebook, or go to aapodcast.com. Along the top, you'll see a Discord link. You can go there, hang out. We do a lot of watch parties together. We play games together. We post pictures of delicious food that I can't eat because of my diet.
And dogs.
So it's a good time. There's some great people over there. So head over to hang out. On today's episode, we have a pretty fun, little lighthearted topic that we're going to go over. It's Monster Hunt, the best monsters and hunters of anime. And this was
excited.
Yeah, me too. This was suggested by Raiko-sen over on the Discord. So again, if you head over to that Discord, you can be recommending topics and things like that. So this will be a fun one. We'll talk about a lot of shows that have monsters in them. So, really any kind of monster. Anything from Pokemon, which is all,
Spirit
monsters.
Beast.
Yeah, so there's going to be a bunch of stuff there. We also have a review of the latest season of Sword Art Online, which is Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online. So we'll be doing a review of that later in the show. But before we get to all of that, and you'll have to excuse me because I'm running 3 different computers right now.
Oh my god, I'm so proud of you, Kazuo.
It's truly chaos. This is what happens.
I believe in your talent to make this work, boy.
He's definitely trying really hard.
And you know what's funny is, for those that know me, they know that I can never do anything, like literally anything.
For those who watched the recent cooking episode, this translates.
Yeah, this is like cooking with technology right here, and I might set the house on fire and we'll really be cooking. So before we get into all that, it's time for the big news of the week.
Let's do it.
Oop, if I can get it to work for me. Let's see here. Hold, please. There we go.
大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
All right, so big news of the week. We've got here THR. Says here a sequel to Netflix Death Note film is in the works. Now,
Interesting.
I know you're thinking there's a bunch of different Netflix films. okay, sure, there's a sequel. No, this is a sequel to the Western live action Death Note film that we got, I guess, was it last year, 2017? Is that right? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Honestly, I blacked out that part of my life.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely, I think, mid last year, I think.
Yeah.
We all watched it together on the Discord.
We did. It was on Netflix. So, according to The Hollywood Reporter, Netflix is developing a sequel to its live-action Death Note film. Netflix Chief Content Officer Ted Sarandos called the 2017 Death Note film a, quote, sizable success. Huh. Okay. I guess we have different definitions of the word success. So it says here, Greg Russo is doing the script, who is the writer also for an upcoming Mortal Kombat, Resident Evil, and Fear film. So this guy is all about...
They have another Mortal Kombat coming out? I didn't know this.
Apparently. And Resident
Oh my gosh,
Evil...
I'm so excited now.
Yeah, Resident Evil and Fear. So this guy, I mean, I appreciate he's out there doing his thing for nerd culture, so I wish him nothing but the best. The first film's director, Adam Weingart, said he planned on the first movie to have a sequel, but wanted it to have its own ending in case the sequel never happened. So I think that was pretty apparent. I don't know if you guys remember the first movie, but
I do. And so, like, I off the bat don't like what Wingard said there. Like, if that's a quote from him that says that he planned on the first movie having a sequel, but he wanted to have its own ending anyway,
right? In
case the sequel never happened. To me, that's not good writing and planning. Like, and then that justifies my feeling and the feeling of, truthfully, like most of the anime fandom thinking that the ending was too rushed and literally made no sense. The film entirely to me was rushed and it had poor writing devices in it that kind of took away from what they were attempting to do. So I don't like that off the bat. And I guess, should we touch on how we felt about the first movie before we touch on how we feel about having a sequel?
Yeah, I mean, I think we discussed the first movie back when it first aired, but just to kind of recap on that, I think we all watched it on Netflix, and it wasn't great. I appreciate what they tried to do, but that movie had a lot of problems, especially with the writing. No offense to whoever the writer was on that film, but it was kind of a mess. It looked like, I mean, they were trying, you have to consider they're trying to cram, I think Death Note the series is 52 episodes if I remember correctly. So they're trying to cram,
it's a chunk,
yeah, they're trying to cram all that down into an hour and a half. And that is a task in and of itself. And then, trying to like westernize it and trying to kind of create their own version of the story. And it almost felt like somebody who is trying to, it felt like a dad trying to be cool with his kid. You know what I mean? Where he's like, hey, you like this?
I see where you're coming from.
You like this hippity hop music, right? Check this out, huh? Check out this Will Smith album I just picked up. It's like, oh, Dad, that's not. Oh no. So
yeah, they're definitely trying to make it appeal to people who are not fans of anime too.
Yeah,
it was definitely different.
Yeah, I think their goal, without stating it's their goal, was to just entice the film viewing audience, like the broader film viewing audience. But even so, I think there's such a thing as when you prioritize money over just a good script, and I think this was the case for the Death Note movie.
Yeah.
I also didn't like the movie too much. I was open-minded to them changing up the plot a little bit because not every plot's going to work on every medium, even no matter how good the original plot is. It takes a large team of writers to make a plot transferable, and sometimes you just don't do a good job doing it. So that's why I was like, yeah, they should change the plot to fit the medium of Netflix on a single film. But the downfalls of doing that is when you do what you did for Death Note, where you rush the ending, you rush drama, you rush climax. There's no there's no real rising tension. And so the movie kind of falls flat. Any hype that this movie has, in my opinion, was all out of notoriety because of how much people were shitting on it on the internet. So, good. In terms of the sequel, I don't really know what they can do to redeem the first film. I think they should go entirely new plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just start from scratch. I seriously doubt they would do that. I mean, they've already built up this character and this kind of world, so I'm sure they're just going to continue from there. I mean, really, I can only hope that they learn from their mistakes. But then again, they may not, because as the I forget who it was, but as they were saying, like, it was a sizable success. So apparently it did well enough. So but hopefully they listen to the criticism and all of that and can kind of grow from there. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Mandy, do you have any other thoughts on it?
I think they just need a plot line that's can be pretty organic and can breathe, and so that there is enough tension to build off a single payoff at the end.
Definitely, I agree. Mandy, anything from you?
Like as far as the sequel, no, not really. I think Enzo covered everything that
all right.
I thought of.
So make sure you didn't leave you out there. All right, so new Death Note movie. We'll see. I always hope for the best, so hopefully it's good. But at the same time, I am cautious because of what they've done before. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And now that we're through with that, next up, we've got the good, the bad, and the moe.
Let's hit it.
Howdy, partner. I seen you riding in on that dusty trail. Welcome to the good, the bad, and the moe.
All right, the good, the bad, and the moe. So for the good today, it says here, Japan sees the first woman qualify as an F-15 fighter jet pilot.
Oh, shit.
Oh, nice.
Oh, shiz.
So that's pretty sweet. I mean, I don't personally know a lot about fighter jets and pilots and the history of like women in aeronautics, but it's pretty cool to see that Japan is has achieved that. It says here the first lieutenant, Misa Matsushima, is 26 years old, has become the first Japanese woman to qualify as an F-15 fighter jet pilot. She says, "My longtime dream has come true. I wanted to be a fully fledged pilot, no different from men, as soon as possible." She said this after a ceremony Thursday at an Air Self-Defense Force base in Miyazaki Prefecture, marking the completion of a training course to become an F-15 fighter pilot. Matsushima is expected to start work piloting F-15s in 6 to 12 months after undergoing further training to qualify to scramble the jet to intercept aircraft intruding into Japan's airspace. And she'll be assigned to the 5th Air Wing at New Tabaru Air Base in the prefecture on Friday, and will continue her training there. So they're moving her right along. So that's pretty cool news.
That's
awesome.
really cool.
Ganbatte, Matsushima-san.
Ganbatte for sure.
I'm kind of interested in seeing that, like reading up on the history of that. I wonder how many women have tried in the past.
Yeah, that's the question.
I'm curious. Yeah.
Is it because she said that she was the first woman to qualify.
I'm
assuming
right?
That others have tried before and just not qualified. And I know like being an F-15 pilot is probably very, very physically demanding, especially with like the G-force and all of that. So I wonder if there is a kind of if it's a little more difficult for women. I don't know.
I don't know.
But it's cool to see that, they're making progress there and that somebody's stepping up and getting it done. So that's pretty sweet.
Definitely.
So let's see here. So that's the good. The bad is Typhoon Cimarron brings additional heavy rains to western Japan. So as you know, Japan has been, it seems like they're always getting wrecked in one way or another by some kind of a typhoon. But Typhoon Cimarron, which I guess is the most recent major one, it sliced right through western Japan in Tokushima Prefecture. We've got some stats here. It says 26,590 houses in Mie, Shiga, Kyoto, Nara, and Wakayama prefectures experienced power outages. The max wind speed was up to 111 miles per hour. Still have, it says, 3 university students missing, and there are more concerns over landslides as the typhoon dropped almost 16 inches of rain on the region. So it looks like those heavy rains are still continuing. So they're not quite out of the woods just yet, but
I wonder if they have anywhere online where you can donate.
I would like to know that too. Poor Japan, because they're going through it right now as a country. They just went through a ridiculous heat flash that people were dying from, just from heat exhaustion.
Right.
And before that didn't they have an earthquake earlier this year too? and or recently in recent history, and now this typhoon just coming through saying hello, what's up, and just messing with them again. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have Japan in my thoughts for sure. Winds of 111 are is not
That's pretty
it's not a
crazy.
joke, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, living
Yeah.
in Florida, we get hit by hurricanes, every so often, and it's generally not anywhere near, at least where I live in Florida, it hasn't been that bad as in my memory. So that's pretty insane to have to deal with that, and with the regularity that they have been. The regional weather system around Japan, it says here in the article, which was from the Japan Times, it says it says the weather system around Japan is generating typhoons at a quick pace this year, with 5 forming on 5 consecutive days for the first time between August 12th and 16th. So 5 different typhoons forming 5 days in a row, just back to back to back. It's pretty nuts. So definitely our thoughts go out to them. And if you can find a way to help or to donate, please do. Feel free to look that up. Again, that article we got was from the Japan Times, but I'm sure there's a ton of other articles out there that you can reference as well. So it's the good and the bad. Now the moe is the Citrus Yuri manga gets a Citrus Plus spinoff in the winter.
Oh,
Nice.
Citrus Plus.
Exactly what everyone was asking for.
So I haven't read the manga, but I did watch the first few episodes of the anime. Mandy, have you read this manga at all? Because you're the manga monarch, so I figure you would know.
I did.
You did.
I was not a fan.
Not a fan.
You know how rarely Mandy says that, by the way?
Yeah, she loves like all manga.
She loves reading manga to the point where like hearing her say like no, like I put that down after after a volume. Sucks, dude. That's so shocking.
I mean, I watched the first 3 episodes of the anime just to kind of give it the standard impression period, and it left an impression, that's for sure. You know what though? It was very pretty. The character designs were very pretty. The animation was decent. They weren't doing much with it. It was just people, walking around into school and falling into water fountains. But, aside from that, it was good. Let's see here.
And a lot of CG crowds.
Yeah. So according to Anime News Network, a spin-off manga of Citrus will be published in Comic Yuri Hime magazine in the winter. The manga will be published in North America by 7 Seas. And the story, as described by 7 Seas, says Yuzuko Aihara, a high school girl whose main interests are fashion, friends, and having fun, is about to get a reality check. Due to her mom's remarriage, Yuzu is transferred to a new all-girls school that is extremely strict. But isn't this exactly what happened in the original?
Yeah, I was reading the synopsis on the article, and it's exactly the same.
Okay, so it's just more of a continuation. So basically, this happy-go-lucky kind of rebellious girl goes to a private school. She meets another girl there who's very strict and by the books, and like her grandpa is like the dean. And what I always thought was weird is that the main character girl then goes home and finds out her mom is like, I guess, remarried, and that she now has a stepsister who happens, of course, to be the really strict girl that she met at school. And then they have like kind of this weird love thing that goes on that is kind of sketchy. But I always thought it was so funny that like she goes home and her mom's like, oh, by the way, I'm getting married and here's your new stepsister. It's like, what? Nobody told me anything.
I was just looking some stuff up, and what I did look at, I won't post because there are spoilers in it, but it does look like a continuation, and they're promising like a very happy ending. So if you really like Citrus and you want to read more, go for it.
There you go.
There you go.
Yes.
All right.
Huh?
Yeah. Look, it wasn't for me.
It wasn't my cup of tea as well.
If it is something,
same.
If it is something that you think you might be interested in, feel free to check it out for sure.
The character designs are super cute, so that's definitely a plus.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. All right. Well, on that note, we're gonna go to a news break in a bit. Enzo, do you want to go over the trivia that we had this week?
Of course. Yeah. So as you guys all know, on our website, we have a trivia question that if you scroll all the way down, you can answer. The answer to the question that was on there the whole week is how to summon a demon lord, how not to summon a demon lord, actually. And this week's winner is Keniko 31. So congratulations, Keniko 31. You will win fabulous prizes.
Congrats.
Yep. So if you go to the website, I think after today, maybe sometime on Tuesday, it'll be updated. And the current theme is isekai anime. So if you're a fan of isekai, like I know a lot of you are, go answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so before we go to break, we have an intro question you can answer while we are on break. And the question is, he continues to pursue the Phantom Troop, but an unknown party has stolen his scarlet eyes. With the help of his friends, his life was saved. What is that anime?
All right, we'll answer that question after the break, as well as go over our main topic today, which is all about monsters in anime. So stick around, and we will be right back.
Hey, all you anime addicts out there, predictable as always, it's Mitsugi and it's time for your anime news. Starting us off, it looks like Dragon Ball will never die, and now it is conquering another arena, esports. Bandai Namco Holdings has announced that they broke the all-time Twitch streaming record for the biggest fighting game tournament this year, with Dragon Ball FighterZ smashing prior records held by Street Fighter and Super Smash Bros. The game, which released in January, has been a huge hit. It has sold over 2.5 million copies and continues to sell further copies after its debut earlier this month at the Evolution Championship Series tournament in Las Vegas. Quote, "It's certainly a first for Bandai Namco. If they can ride on Dragon Ball FighterZ's current success, they can milk it for years," said Serkan Toto, founder of Tokyo-based games industry Kantan Games Inc. Quote, "They sit on the intellectual property which will keep the game unique against the competition." So Dragon Ball continues to dominate, which is probably going to make more anime properties that will be released and probably more fighting games as well. So hooray for Dragon Ball and fans of that property. Next up, a very humorous episode of Conan O'Brien in which Conan calls out Detective Conan for ripping him off for 25 years. Conan O'Brien describes how he is the #1 search result in every country in the world except for Japan, where Detective Conan is actually the first search result using the word Conan. In the segment, Conan O'Brien jokingly suggests that he is the inspiration for the character since he debuted on television 1 year before Detective Conan's manga debuted, which was in 1994. He also compares the physical characteristics of his own body to the child, including skinny legs, distinct hair, and wearing a suit and glasses, etc., and even shows comical photos of himself from high school. If you're a big fan of Detective Conan, or if you just want to see anime represented in a very mass media way, you can check out the Detective Conan segment on the TBS channel. I recommend you YouTube that. It's probably worth watching. Next up, and of course, highlights from the Pikachu outbreak in Yokohama 2018. The Pikachu outbreak event in Yokohama was joined by EVs this year. So, pretty big event. Besides the presence of EVs, there were some other changes to the event that happened this year. There had been some collaboration into congestion problems that had happened previously. On the other hand, this year they had nighttime parades and even a water show at the Minato Mirai port in Yokohama. Looking at the photos, there's some pretty fantastic stuff. Shopping malls are decked out. The stations and shopping malls are just loaded with EVs and Pikachus. Event staff handed out plush toys and hats of EVs and Pikachus to people that were passing by. And if you look at online, you can definitely see some pictures, just parades, thousands of EVs and mascots and stuffed animals just dancing around and acting crazy. Buses and floating ships that are decked out in paint jobs of Pokemon all over the place, Ferris wheels and amusement park rides. It just never ends. Pokemon truly does own Japan. And lastly, Risei wa tainin ga ii senpai ga uzai kohai no hanashi take, top prizes at the Manga Awards, Kadokawa's Media Factory's Book and Manga Awards. The Da Vinci and streaming service Nico Nico announced the winners of this Tsugi ni Kuru Manga Award event on Thursday, and the awards acknowledge printed manga and web series both. This year, the grand prize went to Raisei wa Tanin ga Ii by Atsuka Konishi. The story follows a mafia boss's granddaughter, Yoshino, whose pedigree has left her without a boyfriend because everyone is terrified of her. Her life takes a turn for the different when her grandfather sets her up with the grandson of another mafia boss named Kirishima. Yoshino goes to live with him, but this kind and intelligent demeanor hides a dark side. There's some pretty interesting stuff going on here in this manga. If you're interested in reading the grand prize winner of the Kadokawa Media Factory Awards, Raisei wa Tanin ga Ii, I recommend you check that out. This was Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break. Now, time to get back to the podcast.
After Parties Hobby Addicts Hunter episodes. After Parties Hobby Addicts Hunter episodes. After Parties Hobby Addicts Hunter episodes.
What in the world are you two doing? I'm trying to sleep here. It's midnight.
We're using Mandy's arcane power to do a content prayer dance.
Yeah, we're hoping the content gods bless us with thrilling entertainment for the fans.
Content prayer dance. You know, there's a much easier way to make better content. How about starting with studying our vast archive of additional content on AAApodcast.com?
Oh, I already have. I mean, it's only $7 a month for almost 8 additional episodes every month.
That's less than $1 per extra episode and super easy to get to. Just gotta type aapodcast.com/join to become a member.
You went through the whole archive? It's hundreds of hours.
Well, Senpai, anything is possible.
If you believe.
I think I'll just leave you two alone.
Hey, is he gone yet?
Yeah, ready.
Yeah. After Parties Hobby Addicts Hunter episodes. After Parties Hobby Addicts Hunter episodes.
この番組は JList.com の提供でお送りします。
The Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast presents Bedtime Stories with Chiaki.
So I get to my school where I'm teaching, and I decided to wear a skirt. So I'm walking to my school, and my school has this deck thing that we go up to get into the school. And I'm walking, and I trip, and I fall face first, ass in the air, and my skirt goes up to my shoulders, and my ass is facing the parking lot, and there's a car there with a parent in it. And my ass is just hanging out. It was a real life moe moment.
Someone might need to pay a visit to the Church of Mitsugi.
I can just say that I've actually fell and given a panty shot.
And now, back to the hosts.
And we are back. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the show.
I am here.
So
Before we went on break,
Yeah.
I had asked everyone a question to answer while we were on break. And again, just for reminders purposes, that question was, he continues to pursue the Phantom Troop, but an unknown party has stolen his scarlet eyes. With the help of his friends, his life was saved. You guys know the answer?
I mean, I do because I can see it on the dock.
All right. For everyone at home
Peter.
and listening, the answer is Hunter x Hunter Phantom Rogue.
Ah.
Ah.
You know what?
I haven't seen Hunter x Hunter, but I really want to. I just need to find time.
It's so much. It's so much to start, you know.
Yeah.
Everyone's always saying it's one of the best shonen and all this stuff and amazing fight scenes, and it's just one of those things that I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch. But yeah, we
It's
definitely
intimidating.
maybe we can do a watch party of Hunter x Hunter at some point.
That would be fun.
And like do a
I'd be
couple
down.
episodes a week or something. That would be cool. Well, you know, that's actually a very great question for this week, since our main topic is going to be all about monsters in anime. And there's some pretty badass monsters in Hunter x Hunter from what I understand. But before we get on to that, we have the Manga Minute with Mandy.
Mandy's Manga Minutes.
So let me...
And now, let's take a minute for the Manga Minute with Mandy.
Let's go.
Alrighty. So, Mandy's Manga Minute, or Minutes, is where I take a minute to tell you about a manga that you may not have heard of. and hopefully help you find something new to read. And I'm still recovering from being sick, so if I like my voice cracks, I apologize. But this week I am talking about Doro Hey Doro, and if you want me to spell that out, just in case I'm mispronouncing it, it's DOROHEDORO. Doro Hey Doro. And Hole, a dark, decrepit, and disorderly district where the strong prey on the weak, and death is an ordinary occurrence. Is all but befitting of the name given to it. A realm separated from law and ethics, it is a testing ground for the magic users who dominate it. As a race occupying the highest rungs of their society, the magic users think of the denizens of the Hole as no more than insects. Murdered, mutilated, and made experiments without a second thought, the powerless Hole dwellers litter the halls of Hole's hospitals on a daily basis. Possessing free access to and from the cesspool, and with little challenge to their authority, the magic users appear indomitable to most, aside for a few. Kaiman, more reptile than man, is one such individual. He hunts them on a heedless quest for answers, with only a trusted pair of bayonets and his immunity to magic. Cursed by his appearance and tormented by nightmares, magic users are his only cue to restoring his life to normal. With his biggest obstacle being his stomach, his female companion, Nikaido, who runs the restaurant Hungry Bug, is his greatest ally. So Doro Hey Doro is a fantasy horror seinen by Q Hayashida. It originally published in 2000 and still in production with 22 volumes, currently in both Japanese and English. The series has a very gritty art style to it. I want to compare it probably more closer to like a Junji Ito style. The best way I could describe this series aesthetically is it's like Sorcerers and Mad Max. Like it looks a lot like the appearance of it reminds me a lot of Mad Max. I've only read one volume so far, but the synopsis was so unique and imaginative that I had to give it a shot. Like I bought it straight away because I had to try it out. It's very violent. There's a lot of gory scenes, but it still manages to lighten the mood with a little bit of comedy. In the story, the main character is a sorcerer who it looks like a reptile. He kind of looks like a lizard man, and he has a man living inside of him, and he has no memory. Apparently, a sorcerer did this to him, and he's trying to hunt down that sorcerer and find out find him so he can get himself back to normal. But there's a man living inside of his head, and so he puts his enemies' heads inside of his mouth, and the guy inside of his head tells them whether or not they are the one. And he has no idea what it means, but he's trying to figure it out. But so far, I found it the whole thing very surreal. It's dark and it's kind of fun, and I'm planning on trying a few more volumes and hoping that I continue to enjoy it. So yeah, if that sounds interesting, give it a shot. If you like very surreal, strange manga that it's not as horror as Junji Ito, but has it's a little reminiscent of that kind of style.
You know, you reading a synopsis like that over the
I know
it is such a pleasant contrast.
I know. I was thinking that because I could hear it behind me. I'm like, this doesn't fit.
It's like dun, 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 dun. Yeah, monsters, Junji Ito style horror. Yeah.
Such a pleasant song. And you're talking about this horrible.
Ciara in the chat asked, "Does Mandy purchase all her manga or read them online?" I purchased all of my manga.
Yeah, Mangi is she's very good.
Mangi?
Mangi.
Mandel?
That mix between Mandy and manga.
Yeah. Mangi her bookshelves are ridiculous.
It would be really depressing if you could see right now how many manga are on my desk right next to me.
You need to take some pictures so that I can start.
She sent us pictures and it's it's incredible.
That's awesome.
I haven't given you an update.
Damn.
But I do purchase all of my manga. I try to get physical. If I can't, I get digital.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Sweet.
What a champ.
Well, that sounds like a really cool manga. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out.
Yeah, I was kind of sad that Mitz wasn't here this week because I think from what I've read, it looks like something that he might actually enjoy.
Yeah, I'm not really big into horror type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's
definitely not scary though, but it is very violent.
Yeah, I will watch and read stuff like that on occasion if it's really, really good. I just don't like that cheesy kind of oh, you're, being gory for the sake of being gory, or jump scares and stupid things like that. That just irritates me because I'm like, this is a waste. But this sounds like it's actually pretty cool. So I'm gonna have to check that out. All right, guys. Well, it's time for our main topic today, which is Monster Hunt, the best monsters and hunters of anime. Again, this was suggested by Raiko-sen in our Discord. So if you would like to make some suggestions for podcast topics, head over to our Discord. You can find the link at the top of the website, aaapodcast.com. So this is kind of a freewheeling, just fun topic. We may even take some ideas from the chat if you guys want to throw some things in there about some of your favorite monsters in anime.
For sure, please.
This could range anywhere from scary monsters in horror anime to just fun stuff and Pokemon and Digimon, which I think we will talk about.
Some cute stuff.
Now, here's the thing, guys. Mitz is not here to keep me in line today. So what I did...
What did you do?
What I did was I pulled up a couple of lists.
A couple of lists?
Top monsters.
What do you mean by a couple of lists?
So I found, via the magic of Google, a top 10 scariest anime monsters and creatures in anime.
Oh my god.
And I found the top 10 strongest monsters in anime.
Strong. Okay, so you found strongest and most
scariest.
fearsome, you said?
Strongest and scariest. So I'm gonna
I
ask
also
you.
added a bunch to our doc.
You did, yes. So I'll tell you what. I'll go through one of these top 10s real quick, and then we can talk about all the stuff in the doc. And then at the end, if we have time, I might go through the other top 10. So which one do you want to hear
Sounds
first?
good.
The strongest or the scariest, according to the internet?
Let's do strongest.
Strongest?
Yes, the strongest.
Okay, so this comes from cbr.com.
What website?
I think this is like comicbookreaders.com or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So they had a bunch listed. I'm just going to go. Actually, number 11 was Inuyasha, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
But
cool.
it was like
I had Inuyasha down too.
Yeah, it was like the evil version of Inuyasha, like when he
totally
goes
Beast
crazy.
Farm?
His eyes turn bloodshot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So number 10 though is from Yu Yu Hakusho, and it's Yomi. Sorry.
Yomi. Yes, dude. That
He was
dude's
like
awesome.
the demon guy from Inuyasha.
No, from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, from Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm sorry, I'm getting all mixed up. Yeah, he was like the demon guy, one of the three kings of the demon realm in Yu Yu Hakusho. So he is number 10. Again, I'll go through these quickly so we can move on. Number 9 from Fairy Tail are the demons in Fairy Tail. I've never watched Fairy Tail, so I can't really speak to that.
The demons? I've watched a bit of it, but I don't remember the demons. Maybe that's past what I watched.
I guess there's several of them. It says here the demons vary from person to person, but they're one of the strongest magic users in the series. Even Natsu is actually a demon. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, but yeah. So I
didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought they were dragons.
Who knows? He kind of looks like a dragon, maybe like a dragon demon type character.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like a dragon sorcerer, I thought.
Oh, I don't know.
Interesting.
So number 8, okay, this is one we all know from Dragon Ball, Cell.
Oh yeah.
Cell is pretty freaking strong.
A monster caused by humanity.
That's true. A monster created by our own insecurities and greed and fear.
Damn.
It's deep. That's Dragon Ball right there, teaching you deep philosophical lessons on the red.
I wonder how many people took away a deep philosophical lesson from Cell.
Probably not anybody. Probably no one. We should do like a philosophy breakdown on Dragon Ball, just to like really.
Dude, wait, like a really serious, like we should make PowerPoints. And stuff.
We should have PowerPoints. It's gonna be
That'd
great.
be great.
Yeah, I'm so down.
Okay, number 7 is from Bleach, and it's the Vasto Lord. Which
I remember that.
I remember this guy. I don't remember.
Is he? I think he's one of the. Is he one of the Arankar? Or no?
So he is a Menos. One of the. Okay. I remember. So when they went to Hueco Mundo, in Bleach, and they're fighting all of the bad guys. I forget what they were called. There were some that were called Vasto Lords, and they were like ancient kind of hollows. And I think he was one of them. He was like one of the top dudes or something there.
Oh, yo, didn't he have like crazy hair?
Yeah, he had like crazy orange hair and had like horns and stuff, and he was like white.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. I just pulled a picture of it. He has long orange hair.
Yep,
And it
that's him.
specifically says they are hollow, not Arrancar.
Oh, nice. It's like it should just say no, Enzo. They are not Arrancar.
No, and so shut up. Okay, cool. I got it.
So number 6. Again, these are the strongest, and this one is the ghouls from Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh, whatever. Next.
Come on, guys. What's going
They're
on?
pretty
Listen,
strong, though.
no, here's the thing. I can kind of see that because if you think about maybe ghouls aren't like physically stronger, but their ability to hide in human society is kind of hard. Like that's pretty powerful. in my opinion.
They are pretty damn powerful.
Yeah,
They have, like,
I take it back.
stuff that comes out of their backs. What are they called? I forgot what it's called. I saw them tear people apart. I don't know.
Yeah.
They are powerful for sure. I get it. Okay, number 5 from Full Metal Alchemist, the homunculi. Is it homunculi?
Oh yeah,
Is that
they're
the plural
super
form?
powerful.
Yeah, very powerful.
They're quite powerful.
What about,
especially in Brotherhood? I feel like they're even more powerful.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think one of my favorite moments, or one of my favorite, like especially fight scenes, just in anime overall, was in Full Metal Alchemist, and it was when Ed fought Greed.
Yes, Greed. The Greed fight's pretty great.
Dude, that fight scene was so insane and so well animated and so intricate. Like I really love that scene. And then the way it ends and everything.
And they
Envy
didn't
also-
cut away a lot. Yeah,
Envy also turned into like a big monster dog looking thing. Remember that?
I do.
Oh yeah.
It's like the big green monster.
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
So that's number 5. Number 4 are the Titans from Attack on Titan.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll give him.
All right,
I'll give it
all
that.
right. All right, you know what? CBR, you're doing all right.
CBR, yo. CBR over. What's the other website you like? Honeyfeed.
Honey.
CBR over Honeyfeed. If we're ranking the rankers,
Dude, we need to do a top 10
top 10
websites.
providers.
Yeah. Kazuo's top 10 websites he goes to for top 10 lists. Then
that
okay,
archive
number
out.
3 we have the God Hand from Berserk.
Okay.
I feel like that should be number 1.
Okay. Isn't that the dude that like he's like a like I haven't seen Berserk so much, but he's like has a cloak and he has like a brain head looking thing.
I don't
Is
think
that what that is?
so the God Hand is actually like a group of demons.
Yeah, no, you're right. You got it. He has like the brain head.
Brain head, right? Or is
I
it
think
is it a
so.
group
Or is it
or is
the
it a
void?
dude?
I think there's like 5 of them if I remember correctly.
Oh, you're right.
Maybe.
There's like, yeah, I remember the big lady too.
Yeah, and they're like
The
basically
big
unstoppable.
lady.
I never understood in
Big
Berserk.
lady.
She was a very big lady. I mean, remember, they're like,
Oh,
I mean,
God.
big isn't like really tall.
Yeah,
All right, IC Rose confirms the brain dude is one of
is one of them. Okay.
Okay.
I never understood in Berserk, like these dudes are so powerful. Why don't they just kill Guts? Like they could literally just like snap their fingers and kill him at any moment. But I think
Like
it's just,
why not 5v1, dude?
I feel like they just enjoy torturing him, basically.
Hey man, that's part of being evil. I think just you're in for the ride, you know.
Yeah.
It's probably part of the manga.
All right. So number 2 is from Blood Sea, and it's the bunnies from Blood Sea.
Mm.
The bunnies.
I don't
from
even
Blood-
remember. Did I even
I
watch
haven't thought about Blood Sea in fudging like years.
Good save. Good save. Yeah, I don't even remember the bunnies, to be honest with you.
Yeah, guys, I'm trying a new leaf. I'm trying to not be a complete New Yorker all the time.
Yeah,
just kind of like not curse all.
I appreciate it.
But no, do they look like? Honestly, I don't know what they look like. I don't think I remember ever
They
taking
look
that
terrible.
into.
I don't know. I feel like this is a bad pick right here. Okay, so number 1, the strongest, according to this website, anime monster of all time is the Shinigami from Death Note. They just say Shinigami. They don't specifically say
Ryuk?
Ryuk, but Shinigami in general.
I don't know about strongest.
Well, hold
I
on,
guess.
because you have to think about like where like their power capital comes from. Like some
Yeah.
monsters are strong physically, but the Shinigami though, like they just rain death down on a race of living things.
I guess all they have to know is your name, and then you're dead.
Damn.
And then
Well,
the
actually,
death gods
they
can
don't
see
even
your
need to.
name. So
They don't need to know your name because the Shinigami eyes allow them to see your name.
yeah, exactly.
So I guess they are the most powerful because they can literally just like look at you and kill you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I still think that one of the strongest monsters is Ash's Pikachu, because I'm pretty sure there are times where he electrocuted a ground type. And that is impossible.
Well, no. First, he got them when he fought Brock, he did the sprinkler system and got them all wet, and then he electrocuted him.
True.
But ground types are immune to electricity.
But not when they're moist.
Look, if rainy day is going on, it still doesn't.
If you get a rock monster moist, Pikachu gets in there and wins. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Enzo.
And I've seen that Pikachu take down so many massive and Pokemon that he should not have been able to beat.
Yeah, Pikachu can be 1v1ing Articuno. Like, why is Pikachu fighting Mewtwo?
I don't know, dude. You know what I saw though? Posted online today. Speaking of Pokemon and monsters in general, but specifically Pokemon, there was a meme that was posted online, and I saw it a long time ago. It actually was in, I think, Pokemon the movie 2000, and it's when Mewtwo is overlooking everyone, and he says something to the effect of, he says I see now it's not the circumstances of one's birth that matter, but what you choose to do with the gift of life. And it was dude, that's heavy
Mewtwo.
for a children's
can
movie.
you chill?
Yeah, that was.
I guess that hits him harder because he was made in a lab, right? So he's saying that yeah, dude, no matter where you come from, it's what you choose.
Yeah, what you do with that gift of life. So monsters can teach you things like Pokemon did.
I would love to see a story where the monsters, the Pokemon, start just capturing humans.
Nice. Although, yeah, to be fair, I still can't get over the fact that Pokemon is a story about imprisoning wild animals and forcing them to fight each other. That just seems terrible. But hey, whatever. I don't know.
Hey,
it was
whatever,
the 90s,
right?
guys.
It's all anime in the end, you know.
So all right, so now that we've gone through, thank you for putting up with my nonsense, guys. So I see that you guys actually did some work and added some things to the doc here.
Yep.
Yes, we have ideas.
So what do you want?
The first one is actually Mitsugi. He put that one on.
Okay, so what do we got here?
So the first one, and I can add a little bit to this, is from Mitsugi, of course, is from the 12 Kingdoms, and that's Totetsu. He's Totetsu. He's a shape-shifting Yoma. And he looks like a big, red or reddish brown dog. And he's supposed to be one of the strongest Yoma. And he can shapeshift into whatever he desires. And there was a little Kirin boy named Taiki who he spent a lot of time as a human. And then he finally learned that he was a Kirin. And that was his first one that he I can't remember how they collected the Yoma, but it's kind of like his servant, and his name is Goran, and he's really cool looking though. He's really big.
The Yoma, this beast is cool looking as heck.
There's a lot of the Yoma in 12 Kingdoms. Cool. There's this huge bird named a Kocho, I think it was.
Was that the beginning of the show?
Yes. Yeah. The one that that Yoko was fighting. And I remember that in the book, that fight was so much more brutal than it was in the anime. But that bird looks really cool. They're really big. And
they also had, I think the 12 Kingdoms also had harpies, right? That were pretty cool. Or am I thinking about something else?
No, you're right. There was a harpy looking one. That was somebody else's servant. I can't remember what that one's name was. It was the other little Kirin boy that had the blonde hair.
Yeah, I like harpies. Yeah. I've always had been fascinated by harpies and how they their physiology. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was Mitsugi's suggestion, right?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So what else we got on here?
I just put up a bunch of series. I figured we could just throw out our favorites from them. So the first one is Monster Rancher.
Oh my
I put out Tiger.
Mandy,
I want to start.
Song. I wish I had a song that I could play.
I want to start by saying that your boy Enzo has never really watched Monster Hunter.
No!
Monster Rancher.
Enzo. You know what?
You're about to be transported.
I'm just coming out. I'm just coming out and saying it. All right.
You know what, Enzo?
What?
Oh, yes!
Yeah, that's right.
god, we're monsters rule.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Accept it, Enzo. Accept it. All right. Monster Rancher. I loved that show so much. And
Me too.
Look,
and I love the game too. I think I played all of them.
Full disclosure, it was not a good show. It was not good.
Yeah, it was fun though.
But man, I loved it. There were so many great. Oh my god, the characters in that. What Suezo was the guy with the one eye.
The big eyeball.
Yep. You had. I'm just.
He had a fun voice too.
I believe. Oh, who was his voice actor? I want to say it was the same guy who did like Rat Trap, and
I think it was actually. Let me look up.
What's his name? I gotta find this.
Dude, when you said Rat Trap, I immediately went Street Rat because I just saw Aladdin on Broadway with Mitsuki this weekend. Anyway, back to your very important conversation on Monster.
Yeah, it's a very, very important Monster Rancher conversation.
And then there was Pixie.
Oh, you know what? It was Scott McNeil.
That's it. Okay.
Yep, Scott McNeil played Suezo in Monster Rancher, and probably a bunch of. Actually, I know for a fact he played a bunch of other voices because I remember watching the show and thinking to myself, why is Scott McNeil talking to himself right now? Like, he would have moments where one of his characters was talking to another one of his own characters. It was pretty funny. But yeah, that one had who were some other monsters in there? There's
Pixie.
Pixie, right? Who was, you know what?
And
like, she was more human than monster though.
Damn.
Like,
but she's still a monster.
She's a monster. There was, who was the one that looked like a wolf? Oh, it was Tiger. They called him Tiger.
Tiger.
But it was a wolf.
That's what I put down. He's my favorite.
He was a straight up wolf, but they called him Tiger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and his brother was Grey Wolf.
Grey Wolf, right? Oh my goodness.
His brother was, I think his brother was evil, if I remember correctly.
Yep, you're right. You're right. Okay, so yeah, Monster Rancher was amazing. So Monster Rancher, like for those that have never seen it, is just a 100% 90s
isekai.
It's an isekai for sure, but it is the epitome of like early to mid 90s like anime. Like as far as the kid rides rollerblades everywhere, you know, wears a backwards baseball cap, like has
Physics,
cargo shorts. Like this kid is so 90s.
Balance
Don't
matter. Physics, balance, exhaustion
doesn't matter.
Who cares?
He rides those rollerblades everywhere, up walls, on sand. It doesn't matter.
There was a rabbit named Hare, and he fought with boxing gloves.
Yep, I remember him. That's true.
Then there was Worm. I remember all of them. Like all the bad guys were dinosaurs. They were named Dinos, I think.
Who was the big rock guy?
Gollum.
Gollum, right. And then the little pink one? Mochi. Oh my god.
Because when he was rolled up in a ball, Genki thought he looked like a mochi.
Mandy, do you have a mochi voice?
Oh god, I haven't seen Monster Rancher in so long.
I feel like you could definitely
I don't know if I can remember it. What does he say? Mochi! Or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I can't remember. It's been so long.
Oh, but you know what? I remember when Scott McNeil was talking to himself in Monster Rancher, it was because he was Suezo, and then all the dinos, he also played them. So...
Oh, that's right. I remember.
That's what it was. So yeah, Monster Rancher.
Suezo sounds like he could be part of the Migos.
For sure.
Suezo, Quavo, Offset. Like it fits. Anyway, I'm sorry. I have bad jokes today.
That's all right. So Monster Rancher is definitely an isekai. It's a show about a boy who played a video game that was kind of like a Pokemon battle game, basically, and then he gets sucked into the game world. So it is totally an isekai. It's not a great show, but man, it is so nostalgic and so much fun.
Very.
And that opening theme song.
Next up, I believe, Mandy, you have Princess Mononoke listed as an anime.
Yeah, I put down the Boar Demon because he was really cool looking.
I remember the first time I saw the Boar Demon, I actually kind of was a little terrified, even though some people just like, Enzo, get over it. It's just a like demonic pig. I'm like, well, sure, dude. But I think the way it's animated, because it has no like physical, it's not like one physical solid body, and the way it's all moving all the time.
Oh, the worms. It looks like it's covered in worms.
Yeah, it just gave me the creeps when I first saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I feel like in general there's a ton of like Ghibli kind of monsters or characters like that are pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Like I have so I have the board game. I also have like the forest god from Mononoke is super interesting with like the mask that it wears. I think Haku from Spirited Away. It's one of my favorite dragon like dragon interpretations that I've seen, especially because Haku himself is also like cool, but Haku the dragon is awesome. And then I think like Totoro, is a monster. He's just extremely cute.
Yeah.
What is Totoro? Is there like a thing for him? Is he just
like
Totoro?
the spirit of the forest or something?
Spirit, right?
Yeah. So Totoro's awesome. I think all like the weird creatures in Spirited Away are all really cool. The little forest things in Mononoke are cool as heck.
Yeah, I'm thinking like No Face. I'm thinking.
I think
like,
they're called Kodamas.
Yeah, Kodamas. Yeah, the Kodamas and No Face. Yep, you're right, Kyle. So No Face is really cool.
Oh, I
really
love
cool
No
conceptually,
Face.
you know.
And like just says a little piece of gold. And then it eats him.
What was
Nom, nom.
what was that little monster in Nausicaa Valley? The one that she always had like on her shoulder and everything.
Oh, the little fox.
The little fox monster.
I want one.
He was super cool.
I forgot his name.
It was like Teto or something like that. Teto. Is that right? I don't know. It's been a while.
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen Nausicaa in a really long time. It just played in theaters this last weekend, but I couldn't go.
Yeah. So all right. So a bunch of cool Ghibli monsters there for sure. What else you got on here?
I put down Parasite, Miki.
Oh my god.
A lot of fun.
And of course you have a I was gonna say of course you have a Miggy voice. That's so creepy. That's so creepy.
That like made me feel so awkward. It sounds
My
just
favorite
like
part
him.
in all of Parasite is when Miki pulls out a wallet out of his arm. I love that part. He pulls it out of his mouth. Could you imagine having your arm store a wallet inside of it?
I'd be down. It's less effort than reaching into my pockets, honestly. You think about efficiency, like having my wallet just embedded into my arm would be kind of okay. I'll be okay with that. One less step, you know. I think all the Parasite action in Parasite is pretty cool, but Miggy especially because Miggy has his own little like character in the whole thing. And like, why is Miggy so cute? Like, I found Miggy so cute.
I know. Me and my sister said that too. I watched it with my sister, and she was like, "Why is Miggy so cute? He's like some guy's arm." He's like,
So
I
cute.
know.
When you phrase it that way, that's so funny. Miggy's just some guy's arm.
So Mandy, you wrote another thing on here, which is also very near and dear to my heart, and all I have to say is this.
Yeah.
Gotta rap some Pokemon. You just do
Oh man.
Let's get it on. I want to.
Are you ready for this?
See, let me skip ahead here.
We were just doing this before the stream started.
Yep. Oh, I can't hear. It keeps cutting out.
No. Hey.
So another classic monster. I'll pause that. Another classic monster show that you put on here was, of course, Pokemon.
Electro, Diglett, Little Red Mankey, Venusaur, Rattata, Fearow, Pidgey, Seeking, Jolteon, Dragonite, Ghastly, Ponyta, Vaporeon, Thunderbolt, Waterfruit.
Oh my god, where's that nerd alert?
I know the whole thing. That's so sad.
That's not sad, dude. You're a part of a cool elite club that can do it.
I mean, that's one way to look at it, Enzo.
Man.
No.
I put down my favorite Pokemon's Dragonite. It'll always be Dragonite. No, such a derpy dragon. I love him.
He's so chubby. I love
And he
him.
also, when I know this has nothing to do with the anime, but when I think it was 99, there was a Pokemon tournament here. I went to it, and Dragonite won it for me.
Oh, wait,
wow.
you won the tournament on Dragonite?
I beat Nintendo rep.
Oh, snap.
Nice.
Because you had to, they paired you up in brackets, and then you kept going and going and going until there's one person left, and then they fought a Nintendo rep. And I have all my badges still. Because each time they gave you a badge.
Wait, really? Like you're like an actual Pokemon master in the real world, man.
I am. I have all the badges still.
Wait, I didn't know that about you. What the heck? That's awesome.
That is
I'm
awesome.
jealous. I want my own set of badges that told me I'm the best there ever was.
Yeah. So Enzo, who's your favorite Pokemon?
My favorite Pokemon, like this is gonna sound so like, oh my god, of course, but it's just Pikachu, man. It just is. Pikachu's so cute and like cool, and like I love the design. I love the design of Pikachu. I love the lightning attacks, and like I just think Pikachu's awesome. He's just awesome.
You sure it's not Jigglypuff?
Oh my god.
God, Mandy, you're killing
You're
me.
welcome.
Oh my god. Is this topic just to have Mandy showcase her voices?
This is literally just to have Mandy do a bunch of voices. What is that?
Oshawott.
Oh my, Oshawott. I don't know Oshawott. Dude, I'm an OG Pokemon fan. I'm talking about the 151. You know what I'm saying?
The original 151.
I keep it real. 151 all day. Of course, you guys all know my favorite Pokemon is Squirtle.
Squirtle.
Yeah.
Squirtle's amazing.
Squirtles just fly.
Squirtle's just like, you know what, man? He's doing his own thing. He's not worried about what you got going on. He's living his life. He's living his best life. You know, just out there.
He's cool like a chilled glass of water. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. But you know what? When it comes down to it, when it counts, when the town is on fire, Squirtle's gonna round up his boys and save the day.
You remember the episode where they had like a firefighting competition?
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That was that episode when Squirtle was like, I don't need y'all. And he's like taking off. And then like the town gets set on fire. And then he's like, ah, crap, I better help out. And he like gathers all of the Squirtle squad and they save the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
How
man.
cool
With their
is
shades
that?
on.
With their shades on.
baby.
Looking sick. I need those shades.
Okay, are we moving on from Pokemon? Because we
Yeah,
can talk
yeah.
about Pokemon.
Yeah, we can talk about that all day. Let's move on from Pokemon. What else we got here?
This one's real quick because I haven't seen this in a long time. It's been a while. I put down Record of Lotus War, Shooting Star, because he was a big red dragon. I remember him looking really cool.
His name was Shooting Star?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a cool name for a dragon. I've never thought about naming a dragon something like that.
Have you guys ever seen Record of Lotus War?
I have not.
Like bits and pieces, but not like I don't know what Shooting Star is, for example. I don't know.
I'm surprised because it's the guys who wrote it. It was their D&D campaign.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Japan had their own like world for D&D, and like if you look at some of the art, oh shoot, what's her name? I know in Dragonlance it's Takesis, but what's the dragon goddess's name in regular D&D?
Bahamut?
No, not the
Tiamat.
platinum.
Tiamat.
Tiamat, that was it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like pictures of like Tiamat, like all the chromatic dragon heads.
Whoa, really? Oh, like the crest of Tiamat. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I had no idea, but that's such a that's
But it's a really old anime, so be prepared.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times when Shooting Star quote unquote flew, it wasn't actually flying. It's just like the dragon just kind of like moved across the screen.
Dude, now that you're mentioning all these dragons.
Oh, I remember that. I remember those.
Yeah, it's very old.
Good old anime production. Wow.
Yeah.
Now that you're mentioning all these dragons, I can't help but think about Yu-Gi-Oh! And like,
oh yeah,
blue eyes
Blue
white
Eyes White?
dragon, red eyes black dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Slifer the Sky Dragon.
Yeah.
Dude, Cypher or Slifer? Cypher.
Dude, I used
Cypher
to,
the
that was so I never really played. I owned a crap load of like Pokemon cards, but I never really played the game because I was like, this game's way too simple. Like it didn't really grab me. But I played the crap out of some Yu-Gi-Oh! Like in middle school and all that.
Me too.
Like I definitely remember sitting there like before class, just like turn around at my desk and play Yu-Gi-Oh! With the guy sitting behind me.
Hmm.
It was so much
Yu-Gi-Oh! I did the tournaments with Yu-Gi-Oh! I tried.
Nice.
I never won anything, but yeah.
I used to play with my sister. She's the only one that I played with. I did play some of it on PlayStation 1 though, and I played it on Steam.
Yeah, I had
for fun.
So way back in the day, we had like a terrible computer, like just some piece of junk family computer that I don't even know how we got it. Like it was probably like a hand-me-down or something. But I had a Yu-Gi-Oh! Like CD-ROM drive with a game on it, and it barely ran, and it was the most basic of basic games. Like, it was literally just a card game, to where it would like you would see the cards, and like the only animation was like flipping over the cards and stuff.
Big deal, man. Big
And
deal.
it barely ran on this crappy computer, but I would play that all the time and just like battle the same computer players over and over again.
Yeah.
I remember someone in the YouTube chat saying that the Yu-Gi-Oh meta is currently really sad. I used to play when the Yu-Gi-Oh meta was like Wild West and like it didn't really exist and like only a few cards were banned. My deck was a Fusion Dragon deck where like your goal is to just you play 3 like I forgot what they're called, like the Red Eyes Black Dragon, but like the metal one, or like the one that can raise one's dragon from the graveyard, or send dragons to the graveyard. And then you send enough stuff to the graveyard, or you res enough stuff, and then you use Future Fusion to summon your 5-headed dragon that has like 4,000 attack points, and you just end your opponent. Good times.
That sounds like one of my Magic the Gathering decks.
Yeah,
Very similar.
but then it's funny because that I played that deck for one meta cycle, and then the next ban list literally banned Future Fusion, and then it limited the Red Eyes Black Dragon card that lets you do all the mechanics. So like that deck was trash after that. And then I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what else.
Play with you.
I still kind of want to go back and collect like the original run of Yu-Gi-Oh cards and the original run of Pokemon cards just to have them, you know.
I still have a lot of my original Pokemon cards. I still have the Charizard, the original Charizard.
Yeah. So my mom threw all mine away.
Oh no.
My mom gave all mine to my cousins in Peru.
Well,
because it was just such an Hispanic mom thing to do.
I know. Because it was like, oh, you're playing too much with these cards. And she threw them away. I'm like, what? What do you want me to do?
Oh.
What is this logic, mother?
I don't understand. Like, we don't have internet. Like, it's just, it's 2000. Like, what's going on?
All right, what's next?
My next one is Natsume Yujincho Nyanko Sensei, because I love him.
I heard that show's terrible.
Very cute. Very cute.
Have you seen him like in his wolf form? Because sort of like a wolf. Yeah, he transforms.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, he goes from like the little fat cat to like this big, like sort of like wolf looking yokai.
I didn't know that at all.
Yep.
Is it called his true form?
His name is Madara. So yeah, because he was originally bound to a happy cat statue by an exorcist, and so now he's trapped in that form, but he can occasionally shift back.
Wow. Okay, actually, can I transition from this to Inuyasha? Because
go for it.
His true form, Madara, looks like Sashomaru's beast form, kinda.
Oh yeah.
From Inuyasha, yeah.
Did you look up
what Regal? Yeah, I looked up what Madara looked like, and I'm like, it's cool. It's cool. They're both really cool designs. But yeah, so it's not next on the list, but I put down Inuyasha as in for the monster discussion because both. I think. Oh my god, please don't throw stones at me for not knowing my Inuyasha history correct. But I think Inuyasha has beast form instead of Sashomaru, right? Or no? I forget. I
don't remember.
I know Sashomaru for sure, but I don't know about Inuyasha.
Let me see.
Yeah. Can you do me the Google real quick? Because I'm pretty sure Inuyasha also has beast form, but I don't remember. YouTube chat, help.
I think they both do, right? Inuyasha definitely does. I remember that. I believe.
I think Sashomaru definitely does.
The one thing I remember from Inuyasha, as far as like the two of them, was the fact that like Inuyasha's sword was like all about destruction, and Sashomaru's sword like brought people back from the dead, which he was always pissed off about because he wanted to destroy things, but all he could ever do was save lives.
What a problem, huh?
Yeah, but like I actually really liked Sashomaru. Like I kind of felt for him in a weird way. I was like, man, he just needs love. He just needs friends.
Just give the boy a hug, you know?
Ice Hero said he wants a Madara figure. I agree. They're very expensive though. I have a ton of like Nyanko Sensei like in his cat form merchandise though. I have a big plushie, like a real big one.
Yeah.
Yum.
Of course, my favorite character from Inuyasha is, well, he's not a monster, although some people might say he is. it's Moroku.
Oh yeah, it's a monster in its own right.
Moroku is fantastic. He's, you know what, Moroku is misunderstood. All right, look, he's cursed to die ultimately, and all he wants to do is to keep his lineage alive. He wants to to keep the family name alive by finding someone with good birthing hips. I don't see what the problem is.
Anyway, next anime.
I put down. Look, guys. I put down Monster Musume. Don't judge me.
Monster Musume, baby.
I love Zombina. Zombina is fantastic. And I like
Zombina
Raccoon.
is actually kind of cool.
Zombina is part of like the Monster Ops group, and she was great. I'll never forget the part where she unstitches her boob and it falls off.
Oh my god.
I love Zombina.
Dude, Monster Musume, real quick. So interesting.
It's great. It's fantastic, guys.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
Something.
It's something. It's something, but like it's something that if you like press play, you're just like, what the hell?
Look, I had to watch all of it because I had to know how not bad as in I had to know how progressively how far they were going to take it.
They took it though.
It
was taken.
It went. Like I've never in any other anime have seen a scene where they're filming a harpy laying an egg. So.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
what? Thank goodness. You know,
it's good stuff. It's good stuff though. It's good stuff.
I have not seen this show, and I don't think I'm missing anything. So that's totally fine.
Oh my god!
I did not
it's
watch
fantastic.
Monster Musume.
A+, everyone should go watch Monster Musume.
No, don't. Do
A+, everyone should go watch Monster Musume.
Yep.
Oh, which I believe is
it's on High Dive.
You can watch on High Dive.
And I think they have it uncensored.
Oh my!
Oh yeah. So High Dive has the uncensored version of Monster Musume.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to see certain scenes that I'm sure we can all think about uncensored, High Dive.
The manga has some very nicely drawn stuff.
Yeah.
Very nicely drawn stuff. Way to go, Mandy. Well said.
Well said.
So what's next?
All right, next up, I think you put down
Digimon Digital Monsters.
I could play the song right now, but I'm not gonna bother. It's okay.
I actually don't remember a whole lot of Digimon. All right. I watched all of it when I was a kid, but it's so hard to remember. But
so here's the original.
Sorry.
I can tell you them right now. So you had Palmon.
Mm-hmm.
Which was
my list here is Patamon is cute, Gabumon is cute, Agumon is cute.
Oh my god! So Palmon was the one that turned into like a cactus, right? She belonged to Mimi. Was it Mimi? Yes, it was Mimi.
Out of the four hosts, you are the Digidestined, okay?
I am the Digidestined. So,
but dude, I have my original Digimon. Remember when it came in like a brick, and it was like around the time that Tamagotchis came out, and you could link them up and fight with people? I still have mine.
You have yours? I lost mine. I had one of those too.
I never had any of this stuff.
I don't know if it works, but I still have it.
I was just a poor boy. We didn't have anything like that.
Oh.
So Palmon was cool. She belonged to Mimi, and I remember at first Mimi was like super disgusted by her because she's basically a plant, and Mimi was like freaked out and like ew, because Mimi's the one that always wears pink, and she's like really wealthy and kind of snotty. And so she had Palmon, and then Palmon digivolves into Togemon, which is a giant cactus with boxing gloves, which was so sick.
I remember that.
And then she digivolves into Lilymon, who is kind of like almost like a fairy or something. And then I think she had another digivolution, I forget. But that's her champion in Ultimate.
What was the one that turned? Yeah, what was the one that turned to the big angel? There was a big angel one. I can't remember.
There were two.
Is that?
So
I don't remember.
You had Patamon, who belonged to TK.
Oh, he was a little hamster.
He was kind of like a hamster with wings, basically.
Yeah.
And he digivolved when they were fighting Devamon, and it was the first time he digivolved, and everybody at that point had already gone champion except for him. He was still in his rookie evolution. And he evolved into a quote-unquote champion mode, but was like way more powerful than everyone else. And he evolved into Angemon.
Oh, the dude, he had like bluish armor, kind of, and like the helmet.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe not bluish, but he had a helmet and wings for sure. I remember.
No,
this.
he had a helmet, and
He had a helmet. Yeah, he had a helmet. Yeah.
Oh man, Icy Rose has it in the chat. Patamon to Angamon to Magna Angamon, and then
Seraphimon.
Seraphimon, I remember.
Seraphimon, there we go.
The most badass thing ever.
Then there was also Gatomon, who came later on in the first season. I believe it was the first season still. So Gatomon belonged to Kari, who was the sister of Tai, and she was the 8th Digidestin.
Oh, that was the cat with like the big claws.
Yes,
right?
and she
Big
evolved
hands?
into Anja Woman. Or Anja Woman.
Angie Woman?
Yeah.
Jesus, Japan. Oh my god.
Well, it wasn't Japan's fault. This was the American translations. I'm sure their Japanese names were completely different.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Maybe.
America. God.
So she was pretty sweet. There was also Biomon, who was the bird, who was so cool. I love Biomon. And she belonged to Sora. And she evolved into Birdramon, which was cool. She was like a giant phoenix, basically. And Garudamon, who was really cool. Who was kind of like this Native American bird man character. Then there was Tentamon, who was like I don't know what he was. He was like a beetle, I guess. And he had like electric powers. And he belonged to Izzy, who was the computer genius. And
oh yeah, I had to look up a picture. Yeah, it was like a big like ladybug looking thing.
Yeah, like a ladybug. And he evolved into Kabuterimon. And then Mega Kabuterimon, which was pretty sick. He was a giant.
Gomamon was like the seal.
Yep, Gomamon, who
Right.
evolved into who did Gomamon? Ikakumon, who was a big like walrus-looking guy, and he can like.
There are a
shoot
lot
missiles.
of Digimon.
And let's see, there's 2 more original ones: Agumon, which of course evolves into Greymon, and War Greymon, and Metal Greymon.
Mhm.
And then
Metal Greymon was so cool.
Yeah, and then Gabumon, who belonged to Tai.
It turns into the wolf, right?
Yeah, Garurumon, and then Were
Garurumon, yeah.
Garurumon, and then like Metal Garurumon, I think was his mega form.
And then we watched the movie, The Fusion of the Two, baby.
Yeah, which was directed by oh my god, my brain stopped working. Oh my god, the guy who directed Digimon the movie also directed
the guy who did Summer Wars.
Summer Wars.
Summer Wars.
Forgot his name. Why am I?
Mamoru
His name
Hosoda.
too.
Mamoru Hosoda.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
thank
yes.
goodness. I'm always pimping the guy, so I can't believe I forgot his name. But yeah, so Digimon was incredible. There will always be a war between Digimon fans and Pokemon fans.
Yeah, it's an undying topic, but
I believe you can love both.
I believe you can love both as well.
I do. I love both. So it's
I deeply love both. I will say I enjoy Digimon's story more, but I do love both.
Yeah, Digimon definitely had a better story. Like Pokemon's story it wasn't really much of a story. It was just like we're gonna just travel around and kind of do the same thing over and over again, and not really get anywhere. But Digimon was like there is like a set like these are the bad guys, and they're not just blasting off every episode, you know.
Hey, James is great.
James is iconic.
James is fantastic.
James
he
is
is
iconic.
the mighty Moltres, okay?
Oh my god, I remember that when he dressed up like a Moltres.
I am the mighty Moltres.
Jeez. All right, what else do you guys have on here?
We're not
Anything
just
else?
talking about monsters, though. We also have to talk about the hunters.
Yeah, the
hunters. Who is hunting monsters? How about your girl from Blood, The Last Vampire?
I don't know. So for hunters, I kind of suck because I couldn't think of anyone to do
I
this.
put down a few.
Okay, what do you got?
Even though I don't recommend the anime, I put down Dante because Dante is fantastic and one of my favorite fictional characters.
Oh, from
from Devil May Cry.
Devil May Cry.
I also put down D from Vampire Hunter D because
right.
I remember Bloodlust more than the original. I need to go back and watch the original again. But D was really cool, and he had a hand that had like a demon inside of it, like a face, and his name is Lefty. I don't know if it was that in Japanese, but I know that we called him Lefty, and he could eat like elements like fire and stuff. Like D was awesome.
Oh, the chat helped me out too. It was Saya. That's who I was thinking of from Bloodlines Vampire. She was cool.
Ah, Saya. Okay.
I guess
I also put down Akira from Devilman Crybaby. About them, like he kind of counts, right?
At the end, the thing is, like, it's hard to say because at first he was like trying to unite everyone, and then in the end he just started to like wreck the demons. So
But for a while there, he was hunting them.
he
Wasn't
was
he?
hunting. Yeah, he was hunting demons. Yeah, for sure. You're right.
I don't know. I thought it might count.
Yeah.
And then of course I put down a bunch of Pokemon trainers, like
Oh my-
Ash and Gary, and my favorite is Cynthia. Cynthia was one of the Elite Four members from Diamond and Pearl.
Oh, see, I don't know. Yeah, see, I'm 151 all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't remember.
Look up a picture of her. Cynthia is fantastic. She's one of my favorites. She was
Pokemon.
kind of like she was famous for having a Garchomp.
Oh my god.
Like that was her.
Okay, yeah, I can see. Oh, whoa. Okay, I should not have Google imaged her.
Okay.
There are all kinds of pictures.
Yeah. So then, of course, we have, in terms of hunters, we have like the cast of Hunter x Hunter, right?
Yeah.
Like Gon and Killua. We have the cast of Helsing. We have the cast.
Yeah, Alucard and Saris.
Yeah, on the newer side, we have the cast of Tenro, Sirius the Jaeger. They are hunting
seen that yet.
vampires. Yep. That's right. It's current. It's like we were gonna review it at some point in the podcast too, but it's ongoing now, and that's all I really could think of myself. I couldn't, for some reason I had trouble thinking about hunters. But do you have anything else, Kazuo, for hunters?
I do not. However, Morris Young in the chat raises an interesting point. He says Hero Killer Stain from My Hero Academia.
Oh no.
He is hunting. The question then becomes, are the heroes the monsters? I don't know.
Interesting. I guess that's a perspective question,
Yeah.
I guess.
You know, I played the game of God Eater, but I never watched the anime.
Yeah. I have a couple.
Those probably count.
If you guys are like settled on the topic, I have a few honorable mentions for monsters I saw in the chat.
Oh, sure, go for it.
Go ahead, fire them off.
Ready? So honorable mentions in the category of monsters from the chat. I lost track of who said these, but monster one is the older guy from Super Lovers.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's a monster.
No.
He's a monster. I also saw the writers and directors of Darling in the Franxx.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And I forgot the other. I should have written more down, but I saw those in the channel. Jesus, chat is lit today.
All right.
I think I saw someone mention Johan from Monster.
Oh, well, yeah. 100%. I agree with that. So, all right. So before we exit out of this topic, I'm going to just read through real quick the top 10 scariest monsters in anime.
Oh no. Here we go.
According to ranker.com. So thousands of people have voted on these. I'm just going to read through them real quick. Scariest again. This is scariest. Again, we have the ghouls from Tokyo Ghoul at number 10.
I see that. Okay.
No Face from Spirited Away.
Oh, he's that scary. I guess he is kind of scary. He did eat a lot.
The Terraformars from Terraform Mars at number 8.
Oh, the cockroach people?
Yeah, the giant cockroach looking people.
Oh yeah, they're ridiculous.
Number 7 is the Yoma from Claymore.
Oh, okay, I remember
Oh my
them.
gosh, I forgot about Claymore.
I forgot about Claymore entirely, man. I watched that anime. I binged that anime. I liked it so much.
Number 6 is the God Hand from Berserk.
Okay, all right.
And they actually show a picture of it. So there's the brain guy, and there's like some like
the big lady.
Yeah,
the big lady.
Big lady. So let's see. Number 5 is the Boar Demon from Princess Mononoke.
Oh, we have.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Yeah. Number 5. Where's number 4? What the heck? Hold on, it's taking me back through the list. Okay, number 4 is what? The Bunny Beasts again from Blood Sea. Did they just copy the list from the other website? No.
I mean.
Isn't that most top 10s?
Yeah. Number 3 is the Titans from Attack on Titan.
Okay.
Number 2 is the Ghana from Knights of Sidonia.
Oh, cool.
They're pretty crazy.
That's cool that they mentioned them. Yeah.
And the Ghana were sick.
Yeah.
And number 1 is the Parasite.
Miki?
Miki?
Yep. from Parasite.
Wow, we had a couple of those. Yeah. Okay.
So there you go. That's actually a good list. Hey, we had two. You know what? I'm doing all right, guys. I picked a couple of good lists today.
For heckin' once.
job.
For once, for the first time
Aw.
in my
Titan
life.
trying, so this is my first live AA podcast.
Oh,
Welcome.
welcome.
Thank you for joining in. It's good to have you. So
All
now that
right.
you're here,
Yes.
we're actually going to get ready for a news break here. So Enzo, you want to go ahead and read that in-show trivia question?
Totally. So the question you can think about and contemplate while we're on break is, in 1868, he saves the life of an English nobleman by taking in his son. When the boy becomes fatherless, he hopes to repay the debt he owes to his savior. However, unsatisfied with his station in life, the boy aspires to seize the house for his own. What is that anime?
All right, we'll tell you that right after the break, so stick around and we will be right back.
Man, I love this song.
Hey, all you wild anime addicts out there. It's Mitsugi, I'm back, and again, it's time for more of your anime news. Well, we're heading back to Netflix land for a while. Netflix has announced the release date for the live-action Bleach film, and they're going to be releasing it on September 14th. The film, of course, is done by Warner Brothers. The film sold about $1.2 million in its opening weekend. It ranked number 4 on July 20th when it did open in Japan. And it held its North American premiere on 2 screenings on July 28th at the Japan Cuts Film Festival in New York. So if you're a fan of the Bleach property, you're going to be able to watch this on Netflix on September 14th, so look out for that. Manga Entertainment also is still relevant, I guess, and they have announced further additions to their winter release schedule from September into December. Late October, they're going to be releasing pretty much every Dragon Ball thing you can imagine. Pretty much every film. I could read them, but it would take 10 minutes. Also, Yu-Gi-Oh! On 34 discs. Digimon Digital Monsters on 32 discs. This is a pretty long list. Digimon Adventure Tri, Digimon Tamers, Cowboy Bebop the movie, Steam Boy, Ghost in the Shell Innocence. Tons more Pokemon, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Naruto Shippuden, and other shonen properties are all being released by Manga Entertainment at the last quarter of this year. So if you're a fan of any of those and you want to buy them on disc, well, you can do so coming up. Next up, Toei Animation and Dandelion Animation Studios are partnering to release more digital content. Toei Animation, whom it doesn't need to really be announced, is partnering with Dandelion Animation Studio, who may need to be announced. They did the 3D CG animation for Haikyuu and some other properties. Their partnership has the goal of strengthening digital production anime. Through the partnership, Toei is hoping to release more digital content production online and to offer more digital anime in foreign markets. Dandelion Animation Studio was founded in 2007 and it's headquartered in Tokyo. And they focus on digital art, and they have broad involvement in the anime industry throughout planning and production and helping studios with CG art and things like that. So hopefully this partnership will yield some fruitful things, and we'll have some interesting properties that we'll release in the future. Rounding us out, we're going to talk about Japan's animation DVD rankings for the prior week, August 13th to August 19th. Kind of curious to see what the top 10 are here. Despicable Me coming in at number 10. Minions, another non-anime property. Karakai Jouzu no Takagi-san coming in at number 8. My Neighbor Totoro, amazingly, an old movie, coming in at number 7. The Incredibles at number 6. My Hero Academia Volume 3 at number 5. Sing at number 4. Eiga Doraemon Nobita no Takarajima coming in at number 3. Despicable Me number 3 at number 2. And number 1 on the list is Zoku Touken Nanbu Hanamaru Volume 6. So, that's the listing. And this was your anime news break, and now it's time to get back to the podcast. Cram, is that a Pikachu wearing a Totoro costume and a Totoro wearing a Pikachu costume?
Yeah, you like it?
Like it? It's like the best shirt I've ever seen. Where did you get it? Anime convention? Oh, wait, no. Cool store by your house in Japan, right?
Actually, I ordered it online.
Really? Where? One of those custom t-shirt shops?
No, JList.com has them. JList has a bunch of cool t-shirts, hoodies, and even modern and traditional Japanese fashion like kimono. So it's everything from anime to just Japan. Look, I got this Kill la Kill long sleeve for winter.
Cram, that's so you. Cram, they even have cosplay on here.
You bet. School uniforms, socks, even the school-style swimsuits you see in anime. JList even sells magazines. I bet you'd like some of their cosplay and fashion magazines sent to your door.
You know me so well, Cram. It's been hard enough keeping up with the Japanese fashion back here in the States.
Well, you can buy one issue of some magazines. Others, they have a subscription service to get the most current issue each month.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I think I need to spend some time on JList now.
Shop away.
I mean, like, I don't even want to come back now that this song is playing. I feel like we just listen to this for the rest of the show. But we must. Come on. All right, that's enough of that. Hold on, wait, actually, hold on. I have to wait until there's a specific moment. Of course, I have to wait till.
You have to.
I can't dishonor the show.
I'm ready.
Here we go.
I'm ready.
Dangerous.
Dangerous. Most dangerous.
All right.
Wow.
So we are back to another exciting episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous
Hello.
podcast. Thank you so much for sticking with us, everyone. So very shortly, we'll be getting to our review for today. But before we do that, we have an in-show weekly trivia question that needs answering. Mandy.
Yeah.
Hit me with it.
So, before the break, we had a question. What is this anime? In 1868, he saves the life of an English nobleman by taking in his son when the boy becomes fatherless. He hopes to repay his debt he owes to his savior. Sorry about that. However, unsatisfied with his station in life, the boy aspires to seize the house for his own. What is that anime? Joe!
Joe, no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh my god!
It was me. All right.
It was a JoJo reference.
I just want to say that because we played.
Sorry, go ahead.
Because we played that song, I want to say, did you guys know like that dude Hironobu Kageyama is performing at Anime NYC?
Sir.
Did you know that? Because here's the thing. He might not play the MD Guy song, but if you don't think, if he doesn't play Chala Head Chala, are you kidding? I would literally cry singing that song live, dude.
The entire crowd would go completely insane if he played that.
Oh, I would go insane. I would lose it. I would crowd surf out of like AnimeCon.
That would be awesome.
I'm so excited for Anime NYC.
All right, guys. So we do have a show that needs reviewing. But before we review something, one of our fantastic listeners has reviewed us. So it is time for an iTunes review.
Good segue.
It's time for iTunes review.
All right, so we got an iTunes review. Enzo, my man, you're up.
I got it. So if you guys want to leave us a 5-star review, you can do that very easily on iTunes. Just look up the podcast, review us, leave 5 stars if you want to leave us 5 stars. I hope you do. And while you're there, subscribe to us because that just only helps us. It only helps us if you subscribe. But in any case, so this review comes from Skin Steve 62179. The subject of the review says best anime podcast 5 stars. I must say, after listening to this group talk anime for 6 months, I couldn't not sign up and become a paying addict to support the content. The time and analysis put into the show is obvious, and the additions of Mandy and Enzo have really taken the podcast to the next level. Just now listening to the bonus content, and let me tell you, it's worth the extra couple bucks a month. Keep up the awesome work and making this guy's anime addiction worse. Thank you for what you all do, dude. Thank you so much, because Mandy and I coming on, we still get really nervous a lot of the time, and it's cool that you guys are liking what the stuff that we do and say. Yeah, so thank you very much.
I second guess myself a lot.
If you're listening right now, thank you so much. I hope you're having a great day, and I hope you have a great life as well.
A great life.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks so much for the review. Again, if you guys want to head over to iTunes, even if you don't use iTunes, I don't use iTunes. I have an Android. What do I need iTunes for? But you can just download it on your computer real quick, jump in there, review the podcast, and then delete it, uninstall it. You don't need it. But just go ahead and drop us a review. That way we know you're listening, and you can help us maintain our firm grasp around the throat of the anime podcast. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Oh man, this is getting intense.
I'm there with you.
Yeah.
Extreme podcasting.
Yes, we are. We are here.
Podcasting.
I'm here to podcast and take over the world.
Oh no!
And I'm all
slowly
out of
but
podcasts.
surely.
Oh no!
Us and the addicts will take over the entire fandom. Slowly
but surely. All right, guys. So we have a review today. It's been a long time coming. This is, of course, of Sword Art Online alternative, Gun Gale Online. GGO. Now, I don't know if any of us passed this show or if this was the listener choice. I can look it up real quick. It'll just take me a minute.
Listener choice.
It was listener's choice, because I remember when it was when we talked about it, I didn't like it too much, but it wasn't my choice. So I don't know who did it, but if it's listener's choice, that makes sense, because I think we all had kind of the same feeling about it at initially, at least.
So I can say I have officially seen all of Sword Art Online.
Thanks.
I have also seen all of Sword Art Online.
Me too.
I had originally just watched the first, I guess it's technically 2 seasons or 2 cores or whatever of the original Sword Art Online. So I had watched that back in the day. And my overall thoughts on it were, it was okay. I was largely disappointed with it. It wasn't as good as everyone had built it up to be in my mind. So when it came time to review this, of course, because of my OCD and my inability to not complete things, yes, that's right. I had to go back.
Incomplete.
Yes, I had to go back and watch season 2 of Sword Art Online and the movie. And of course,
you watched the movie too?
Yeah, I did watch the movie as well.
Wow.
So season 2 of Sword Art Online, and again, we're not reviewing that, but I'm just letting everybody know where I stand up to this point. Season 2 of Sword Art Online, for me personally, and I'm going to put this as nicely as I possibly can.
Do it.
It was a complete piece of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
That is the nicest way I can say it.
Okay.
I don't know if
so you don't have the best impression of the GGO universe coming into this.
It wasn't so much the universe, even though the universe to me is very basic, especially as compared to the original world of SAO. GGO is the most basic FPS type game, and SAO was this vast world with all these people and possibilities and characters and just different places you can go to. GGO is just we're gonna drop you on a map and you're gonna shoot each other. So that's
what a battle royale shooting game is, though.
Of course. But what I'm saying is it's not entertaining to watch because it's so limited. That's like having a show that only covers one very small specific, you're looking through a peephole and just seeing one little thing, and it's it just wasn't entertaining for me, because I'm you're not showing me much. And of course, and this is the season 2 that I'm talking about, the characters were terrible. It fell into the same exact trope that it always falls into in everything I had seen up to that point for Sword Art Online, which is there is a super weak girl who can't do anything for herself, and she desperately needs the big strong man Kirito to fix her, basically. And they did it twice. They did it twice in that season. The first half was the story of the girl in GGO, and then the second half was Asuna Yeah, I think it was just Asuna, and like who needed Kirito to fix her and save her and stuff like that. So it's like season 2 to me was just straight garbage. The one point to me that, and I'm sorry, I don't want to keep going off on this, but I'll just make this one last point and then we can move on. The point in season 2 that really just flipped the switch for me and I was like, I'm done. I hate this, was when the girl is there, she's in a cave with Kirito and this guy's like hunting them down, and she is crying and inconsolable, and she's talking about how weak she is. This is her speaking of herself, saying like, I'm so weak and I can't do anything. And I thought, you know, Kirito is going to be the one that fixes me and saves me and all this stuff. And as they're doing that, first off, that in and of itself is bad enough. But as she's saying all this, the camera is panning across her exposed upper butt crack. And I'm like, come on, guys, what are you doing? Like, this is the worst. It's so deplorable. But that was season 2. So that's kind of where I stood on that. The movie was it was all right, I guess. It had cool like animation, but that was pretty much it. The story was super bland and uninteresting to me. And then we get to this season of GGO. So that's just to give everybody.
I really like the Mother's Rosario arc, though, with the Sleepless Nights. That was my favorite out of everything that I saw.
Wait, I don't remember it, honestly.
The Mother's Rosario arc with the Sleepless Nights, or Sleeping Nights. Sorry, not Sleepless. Sleeping Nights. It I don't know if I want to spoil it for people though.
In
season 2, right?
Oh, in season
2. It's like at the very end. It's after Gun Gale Online.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. That was all right. Like overall though, like
Kirito wasn't in that one.
That's true.
Except at the very beginning where the girl beat him.
Yeah, that is true. Well, and I will say, like, comparing what Sword Art Online has historically done with female characters to this new season, like, this new season, I feel like at the very least, they didn't default back to, like, the completely helpless girl being saved by the guy who is ultra powerful just because he's the main character. Like, they didn't fall into that, which I appreciated right off the start. Like, this season was actually just a story about a bunch of girls who like to play games and, you know, whatever. So it's like, I was like, you know what? Good on you, Sword Art Online, for not falling into the same stupid tropes over and over again.
Yeah, I guess if you're gonna, you know, set up you coming into this, like I think I fall into like the general fandom's opinion that the first 10-12 episodes of SAO season 1 were packed with potential that could have paid out in the next 12 in the first season to something really great. Aside from the whole, you know, the way they handled emotions and girls and stuff. I thought, you know, story-wise, stakes were SAO first 12 seasons is one of those animes where like you can feel the stakes really be high the whole time. And that's something that's rarely done well. So I admire the first 12 episodes for that. Which sets up my disappointment for the rest of the series that came before GGO, because I agree that they're just not up to par in terms of like creative writing when you have such a opportunity with the world you've like owned, like you've now made for yourself, like to make a VR game world thing. Like SAO has established that it's theirs, like it's their thing. So it's a shame, you know, that they have that premise on lock and then they use it in a not optimized way. So coming into GGO, and I honestly don't remember a lot about season 2. I remember me being extremely like no opinions on it because I just kind of like didn't pay attention because it lost me really fast.
I don't remember. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
But that's just where. So coming into GGO, I was kind of hoping that there would be no Kirito stuff, that there would be no things to super tie back to the original story, because I kind of don't want that anymore. I didn't want that anymore. So that's where. So coming into GGO, that's kind of where I was at. I was hoping. I was like, the art seems to not include Kirito or Asuna or Shinon even. So that's what I wanted. Coming into GGO,
and I appreciate that about it. It was a fresh start, a whole set of new characters. I will say one of the things. So in the first 2 seasons of Sword Art Online, they built that drama and that suspense because people could actually die. Like in the original SAO, like straight up, if you died in the game, you died in real life, and like apparently thousands of people died. And then in the second season, the bad guy had the death gun or whatever, and apparently there were people in the real world that were killing you while you were in the game and stuff. So it's like there was actual risk.
Death.
Yeah, and death. Like you know, and so like that helped build the drama. I think in this newest season of GGO, I appreciate them going a different route, telling a different story. One thing that threw me though was when they would have these incredibly dramatic moments, and it's like, why though? Like there are no what's the word I'm looking for?
Stakes.
There are no stakes. Yeah, like you're not gonna die. It's totally just a game, and it doesn't matter. You're just playing a battle royale game. If you lose, you'll just try again tomorrow. But like they did that thing where they tried to make it seem like it's the end of the world. Like, no, don't kill me. And it's like, you're not gonna die, dude. It's just a game. And then that kind of is one of the things that threw me. Oh, I will say Icy Rose in the chat did mention that this season was a different author, and it was actually the author of Kino's Journey, which is very
I was trying to say that earlier.
Oh, okay.
But so yeah, for me, Sword Art Online, my history, I liked everything up until they got to the fairy girl. After that, I kind of fell off Sword Art Online. I don't remember much of Shinon, but I did really love the Mother's Rosario arc. I remember that very clearly. I was not a fan of the movie, and I went and saw that with my sister in theaters. But I think my biggest complaint with Sword Art Online, and it's because I love the world, I think they do a really good job at putting together an interesting world, but I don't like the villains or the antagonists. I guess that not all technically villains, but they're all the antagonists.
Overarching villains.
Yeah, they don't. I feel like I don't understand, or that their motivations for what they're doing are clear enough. I felt like that with the original guy who made Aincrad, and going forward. And this one, I also didn't really understand. Like you're saying, they made it too overdramatic, and I think I love video games so much that I would have preferred it to just be about the tournament.
like just like a tournament arc in DBZ, but like GGO.
Or like King's Avatar.
Right.
Like just about the tournament, about girls wanting to play this
Hold
game.
on, Mandy. Can we pin that to come back to that?
Sure.
I think there's an idea there that's cool, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool stuff right there. Okay, you got me thinking. But okay, so should we get into actually talking about GGO and where we at after now having seen it completely?
Yeah, well, let's let the people like know like a synopsis real quick. There's one on my anime list that's like just a couple sentences. In short, there's a girl named Karen who has always felt left out because she is super tall. Apparently, she's like 6 foot, and in Japan, that is like nobody is 6 foot, or it's very rare, especially for a female. So she has a hard time making friends and everything. So she kind of gets introduced to the VR world and different games, and apparently with these games, your character is just auto-generated and you can't choose what you want your character to look like. So she just kept trying a bunch of different games until she got into GGO, which is Gun Gale Online, and which is a battle royale type game. And her character model was this chibi little like girl character. And so she was super stoked about that and decided to continue to play that game. So that's kind of like the setup of the show. So yeah, if you guys want to take it from there.
Yeah, actually, Become made a point that I was actually planning to make later on in the chat. It was that one thing I was going to mention this later on was that I felt like this season, especially this season, they couldn't decide if they wanted to make this more like an isekai or more like a video game world, focus on virtual reality, because like there are some times where the rules of the game I felt to me weren't exactly clear. Like they were like part with the guy who was with M, who is like, oh, you just have to stab these vital points. Yes, a game could have like critical hit zones, but I was thinking, and it didn't make sense to me. But like Become said in the chat, and what I was gonna make also an argument for later on was that I think a lot of these people in the game are definitely role playing because they live this life, and I definitely understand it. It makes sense when you think about it like that.
But they are role playing to an extreme, like to where it is literally life or death. And it's like, what is?
But I have come across people like that.
Yeah, well, there are entire role play servers on several games that like
World of Warcraft role playing is crazy.
If you have a character in a role play server, like you don't break character, you don't.
Go check out Goldshire Inn. Come back.
Maybe it's
and
just
tell
not
me.
something I'm familiar with. Here's a question about this show, and I know the answer to it, but I just want to think about it. I want us to like kind of like reflect on it. Who is the villain in this season?
I don't think there really
is one. I think that the show smartly went away from an idea like the death gun,
right?
And I think the show just like it's just not SAO. It's literally like these girls play these games, and in this game they have relationships, and through relationships there is their internal but person to person conflict that they resolve. Right. I don't think there's a real villain in this show.
I agree. Would you consider this then to be slice of life?
I don't think so, because there was the part where Pito, I think that was her name, the like quote unquote antagonist.
Yeah.
Where they try to make it so that Pito, like M said, that if she dies in the game, that she was so upset she wasn't in Sword Art Online that she was gonna like off herself and kill him. And I was like, oh, I don't like putting that kind of mentality in people, please. I'm sure there are gamers that take games that seriously, but I don't know. That whole thing kind of bothered me.
I feel like in this world of Sword Art Online, it's like, why are we still making these games? It's like we've had nothing but terrible experiences where thousands of people have died and people go insane, it seems, regularly. Like, hey, maybe stop. Maybe don't play these games anymore.
Maybe. But maybe. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I don't think there's like real slice of life. Maybe, you know, semblances of slice of life, but I think it's mostly like in a weird way comedy, but mostly action driven. Like I think the show tries to get you into moments of action sequences to show off how they do it super well, because SAO, for all of its faults, has extremely well choreographed action. And I think this season even more so shows that the writers are taking advantage of the fact that there's no real blood. It's just pixels. So when people die in this show, it's kind of like gruesome. If you think about how the body would spill blood if there was actual blood, its bodies just get ripped apart by these guns in the show.
Heads blown off and stuff.
Yeah, and the heads get just rolled off and everything. So I guess we can touch on like how we feel about the animation as well, because I think animation wise it's pretty good. Like it's really good in my opinion.
There was a point that I wanted to make very quick. That I just thought it kind of impresses me. And I could be completely wrong about this because I know I haven't read the light novels. I don't know the exact dates they came out. But I think one thing that Sword Art Online really, that I think is really impressive is the timing that they bring them out. Because the first Sword Art Online was about MMOs. And it came out during a time where everyone was making MMOs. Everyone. We were just saturated with MMOs. Like there was... of course, the Titan Warcraft, and then there's Aeon Online, Aeon, and then there's Rift, and ESO was coming out with one, Sword Art. Star Wars came out with one. There's so many, and this one I think is interesting that it came out with a battle royale, like game right when the gaming industry is saturated with battle royale games. I was like, I don't know, did he predict it? The writers, because this one is by the guy who did Kino's Journey.
Yeah, mentioned that earlier. So it's, I mean, I guess battle royale games have been big for a good while. I guess it depends on like how long does it take for them to write this and come out with the series. So I don't know. Maybe
I think this actually came out around the time DayZ came out, and that went really big. And now that we have PUBG, we have so many.
Primarily.
Fortnite. The Calling, I think, was one. so many.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely well timed. Although I would beg to differ that the audience for those games is not watching the show.
Yeah, maybe some of them. I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
totally, definitely a fraction of them. But I mean, the people that I know that play like Fortnite and DayZ and stuff like that, like even the Twitch streamers, like they're not watching GGO.
Yeah. Wait, so
But that is a solid observation though, because if they are going to release a Fortnite like game or GGO or like a DayZ like game, yeah, it's actually incredible that it's coming at the rise of these like battle royale type games.
Battle
It's
royale
good.
/ survival.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you were
Yeah.
you were commenting on the art and animation before we kind of got.
Yes.
Oh, I'm
sidetracked.
sorry.
So I think that's the most, like, for me, any Sword Art Online is going to have incredible animation. Like, that's just a given.
Yeah.
Like, they're not slacking in that department. They never have and they never will. So to me, it's like, yeah, that's, of course it's great. It's got to be great.
Yeah, which is great. Which I'm glad about it, because like you said, if there's anything SAL is gonna give us, it's gonna be like some quality stuff to look at. So I'm glad they didn't drop the ball there just because this wasn't Kirito and Asuna. So yeah, so art wise, I think they're fine. Like this is totally fine, up to par. Good job. Like you got me there. So check. I give it a stamp of approval on that front. Mandy, are you there with us or no?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was I thought it was pretty good. I also really like the character designs. I love Karen. I think she's super cute, both in game and out game.
I could see that. I feel like that's, I feel like I knew you would.
Yeah, I like the animation and the art.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then how do we feel then about the second half of what makes an anime? The story. Because to me, the story is kind of where it loses me a bit. Like I finished this anime because we were talking about it on the podcast. And when I feel that way, it's because it lost me somewhere along the way. I don't like that there was no real villain. I kind of like a good villain.
Or a motivation.
However, I will say that if there's no good idea for a villain to make it an interpersonal conflict as the main antagonistical backdrop, that's a better option. So I'm glad they kind of did that and didn't give me a bad villain. But this is not my preference, so I kind of put it down for me. I also don't think it was executed on super well because, as mentioned before, sorry, did you guys hear that? So many cars outside my window right now.
Very good.
But yeah, like I it's not my preference, and even though they went that way, I don't think it was executed super well because I understand like Pito's thing, and I understand M's motivation to help her, and I understand Len's motivation to help, and all of that, like it all makes sense, but I don't think it's a strong enough premise overall to keep me like at the edge of my seat, waiting for it to resolve, which is unfortunate because I do like the final fight. I do like the final way that fight wraps up. I think it highlights Len's abilities in the game. I think it highlights Pito's faults in the game when she's made out to be such a great player.
That's kind of,
sorry.
You
know what I mean? What?
Oh no,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's kind of why I asked the question about it being potentially part slice of life, was because I felt like there wasn't any like motivation or thread to like carry you through. It kind of at times just became a group of girls playing a game together, and it's like, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's why I was saying, is this kind of a slice of life because they're just hanging out playing a game with no real anywhere to go?
I think I actually didn't mind the story so much. I think I would have preferred it if Pito was not as adamant. If they tried to drop down the like real world, like get rid of the whole like I'm gonna like off myself if I lose kind of thing. I hated that. If they got rid of that, I would have loved this because I would love just watching anime just about girls trying to win a tournament.
Yeah.
And I think the stakes here is just losing because gamers do take games very seriously. I mean, people who play games all the time, and they all play games all the time, and the stakes here is just losing the tournament.
Right.
So yeah. I mean, I didn't see it as a slice of life because each episode did continue the story. It wasn't like, episodic-ish, but Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah. So I thought it was okay. I just wish they would have made either Pito's like motivations a little bit more clear, or just kind of get rid of that whole.
Or no, I think her motivations were clear. I just think they were bad motivations.
Yeah, they're just bad, right?
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Because it's like, I also don't, because here's the thing, and like here's how I weigh like how consistent the writers are, and like how much more time they could have used to flesh this out. Because Pito, is a maniac. Like in the game, it's in the game she's not a different character. In the game, she's like herself, right? So, and she's insane. She's like crazy. She's crazy. Pito's crazy.
I don't know. Look. Everyone was going off about she's crazy. She loves to kill people. She smiles when she dies, and I'm like, that's me in a video game. Look, she's just enjoying the game. True. As far as I'm concerned.
Well, sure, dude. But then what's the point of the whole like of M being worried about her?
Well, like, that's the real world part, is where she's crazy.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Sorry. Like her in general is like, she's not on the rails. She's more off the rails than on the rails.
Right.
But then like once they do kill her in the game, it's fine. Like she's okay.
Yeah. That didn't make sense to me.
Like,
I agree.
Literally like the day after, like she's just fine. Like she's over it.
I agree. Yeah. No. I agree with you.
Yeah. So like to have gone on like this like career on GGO as a player that has such a reputation of like being a little crazy, and then like she loses and dies once, and then like that's it's over.
Yeah. The writing around her character was, I feel like, pretty flawed, and like I definitely feel like it would almost have been better without her, but then you would lose a lot of the motivation. But really, if it was just a show about like this girl trying to make friends and making them in this game where she meets a group of other girls and they go on to try to win this tournament, that's a cool story right there. That would be a fun story.
I agree.
But I feel like her character just really kind of soured it for me.
Here's the thing, though. I love the part where M meets Karen in real life, and she's like, maybe we need a psychologist. I was like, I love you, Karen.
I like that too. But
that was one of my favorite parts.
So I'm with you there, Manny, and we can bring it back to the pin that we pinned earlier, which was this could have been like the absolute cool King's Game anime, where the
King's Avatar.
Right, King's Avatar, right.
Sorry.
Not King's Game. Like, good God, not King's Game.
Oh, right. Sorry, not King's
Game.
Oh my God. Thank you so much for correcting me there. But oh God, please no. Please stop.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. So I like the way I would make the show better is literally just scrap the whole M thing, like scrap the whole Pito thing. Sounds like I'm saying Pito, which is really a bad.
I know.
Show. Pito Hui. So Pito Hui, right? Scrap the whole Pito Hui like crazy aspect. Make her a really cool rival for Len and Len's group. Like give Pito Hui her squad. Give her all those leader aspects. Give her the intelligence to call the shots like she has been in the show. Len can stay pretty consistent because she admires Pito Hui in her own way. If she could admire her as a rival instead, and that can fuel her motivation to wanting to win really, really, really bad. Mm-hmm. You could have it you could set it up where like Len had lost to Pito Hui in the past once already, and then this is her vengeance story. All those kind of things, and then like around that you can show arcs of like the team, like Len's team bonding in real life to then transfer that into in-game synergy. You can have arcs where they learn new tactics, they find a cool coach that has strategies for them that they've never heard of before, and things like that. And that could all lead to a very, 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 very cool story about rivals, which is no villain required. And if you had to throw a villain in there, you can make a third party that comes out of nowhere that's really good, and then you could have like Pito Hui and Len team up for like that dream team up at the end and kill that dude or something. I don't know if you had to have a villain.
No,
I totally think that's the better story here.
Yeah, I think you build up the character relationships and you tone down the crazy for Pito Hui, and you give her character a little more direction. Like, I feel like that's a perfect recipe right there. That would have bumped this show up in my mind greatly. So
Yeah, I'm with you there, because there's definitely a road you can take, but there's also the like a way to do a villain shrouded in vagueness, because the premise here isn't too complex. If you just say Pito Hui is hungry to be the #1 player on GGO, and that she is dedicated to be the #1 player on her server, and then you don't say anything more about it, and you let her skill speak for herself and how much of a huge titan she is in this game, that's all you need to do. And then you need to focus on Len and how Len is climbing the summit to get to that level, to then beat this villain that in your mind you don't know much about, except that she is the best. And that's a story, I think.
Yeah, I felt like they were trying very hard to squeeze Sword Art Online into it. Like
Absolutely. The SAO crazy.
And I wish that they would not have done that. I would have enjoyed it a lot more.
100% agree with you on that. Okay.
Also,
go ahead.
I do wish they would have added a bit more to the characters. I felt like Karen, like all I knew about Karen is that she plays this game and that she is self-conscious about her height. That's all I knew about her. I wanted to know a bit more about her, like as a person.
True.
Like outside of the game.
Yeah. Again,
I think that, and I would have like attached to her a bit more.
Yeah. Again, there needed to be more relationship building and getting to know the group of girls. Like that would have been so cool.
I did love that. The whole like high school girl group though. That was living my life.
They were awesome.
Yeah, those were some of the better parts. So okay, so we're running along. Yeah. We still have to get to like mailbags and stuff. So let's go through final thoughts, and then if you want to give your score as well, Mandy or Enzo, I don't know which one of you wants to go first. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I can go. I definitely didn't hate the show at all. Like I think it did lose me, but most anime loses me. That's what separates the fives from the other scores, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the writers just kind of couldn't let go of like the precedent that SAO had set up for like the way plot works out in this Earth, because it's still the same universe, just different game, right? So that they're all writing to the tone of this universe still, and I think they got caught up in that a little bit and had to throw a very superficial, crazy element to this for literally no reason. If I could rewrite this whole thing, I think this has potential to be really good. The characters are there. The game is there. The game is a good battle royale game. If it existed in the real world, it'd be a huge success. I think people relate to this game instantly. I think it'd be fun to play this game. I don't even play FPS aside from Overwatch. But like I said, I can't, if I have this many ideas on how to rewrite something, then obviously the inverse of that is that I think a lot of things are wrong, or things I just wasn't satisfying for me. So I'm gonna give this show an actual 3 out of 5. 3 Pichans out of 5. Because Pichan, even though had really randomized throughout this, was kind of cute as a gun.
Yeah, did not make any sense that it would randomly have a face.
Ask that. Yeah. Anybody, Icy Rose, please tell me, does it ever explain why her gun grows eyeballs sometimes?
Not that I remember. I don't think they ever touched on it.
It was so random. I was like, what?
Okay. So,
but it was funny.
Yeah. Mandy, do you want to go or do you want me to go first?
I can go. Yeah, I echo all the same points before, that I would have enjoyed this more if it was just about the game. I did read that Icy Rose said in the comments, I'm looking forward more to it more if they come out with more, because the next arcs are then just playing squad jams. Perfect. That's what I want. I just want to watch them play the game and enjoy the game. Yeah, Pito and M were really the weak parts of this, and it's really unfortunate.
Totally.
There are a lot of things that they could have done better, but I have to say there were parts that I really enjoyed though, and then there were some episodes I was like, this is really kind of weird. So I think I'm gonna echo Enzo and give it a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I will tell you, I think this is my favorite season of Sword Art Online. Because
better than the first half of the.
Well, that's the
season?
thing is I'm including the entirety of the first Sword Art Online.
Okay.
Now the first half of the first Sword Art Online was awesome, but like then it just completely fell off an edge and it was just garbage for me.
Yep.
And the second season I hated, except for like the very last arc, and even that I had some problems with. this show I feel like had potential. It was a very simple show, and if they had just kept it simple, it would have been great. It wouldn't have been like a, mind-blowing 5-star show, but it would have been good. It would have been enjoyable overall. It was still mostly enjoyable. And again, I echo kind of your guys' sentiments with like the biggest problems were with those two characters, specifically with Pito. M was whatever. He was, he had his moments. He had some funny moments. Like when they were like, "Oh, M is for masochist," which was kind of funny.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny, actually.
Yeah.
I also like the part she's like, "My first kabedon," and it's about a guy confessing love to somebody else. I was like, "Oh."
Yeah. So like they had those moments. The show overall, like I enjoyed it. It's action packed. It was a lot of fun to watch. I just couldn't. I feel like they tried to put SAO vibes into a show written by the person that wrote Kino's Journey. Like if they had just let that writer do their thing, it would have been cool. I would have been great with it. But they kind of shot themselves in the foot there. So this is going to be the easiest score for me to calculate. Like I don't have to do any division or anything because I am also giving it a 3 out of 5, which 3 threes is a 3. So no math necessary.
It's a 9. Good job.
Most cases, yeah.
So we're giving Sword Art Online, Gun Gale Online a 3 out of 5 official from the Anime Addicts. And on that note, we are running a bit long, but whatever. We've got some mailbags to get to, so let's try to speed those.
Yeah, let's do one or two.
Yeah, so let me just play the drop real quick.
It's time for an almighty anime
I'll do the
mailbag.
Yeah.
Anime.
Work it.
Hit
Anime.
that choreo. Hit that
Mailbag.
choreo.
Yeah. All right. Mandy, I believe you're up first.
Alrighty. So the first one is from Bad at Names. I like your name. He or she says, "Hey, from the UK. First of all, thank you for making my 12-hour Sunday shift a little more tolerable. I look forward to hearing this podcast every week. I'm really enjoying Steins Gate Zero this season and the concept of this is how things would be if Okabe made different decisions. Got me thinking about how other anime would be if one thing changed." Sorry. So which anime would you like to see a different route explored, and how do you think it would possibly end? Personally, I like the idea of Sword Art Online. Wow, what a coincidence. And Kirito dying in the first boss. Thanks again for an amazing podcast and wishing you all the best. Sorry, my voice started cracking. I'm still,
It's all good.
Yeah, I'm still recovering.
I think something I would have liked to see done differently was actually in Attack on Titan. I kind of wish Eren did die in episode 5.
That would be crazy.
Because, dude, I'm telling you, when I think back to the first time I watched that episode, I really think they did that. Like, I really thought they killed the damn dude. And when my brain was in that state, I was mind blown. I was like, yo, they really did it. They hyped up this character for 5 episodes, and he's just dead.
I did too, because I remember telling somebody it's like the Game of Thrones of anime, and
yeah,
because I really thought that did happen.
Yeah,
but, lol.
They're just kidding. None of the main characters.
Just kidding.
Just kidding. It's anime.
Plot armor.
Yeah.
Plot armor, baby.
That would have been great. The first thing that came to mind is silly, but it's Dragon Ball Z. I wish Gohan never went to school. Like, I wish he just stayed fighting. Like, if he just, he was the most powerful person in the world, and if he just stuck with it, he would have been so badass. But instead, he went to college and became a nerd and became the Great Saiyaman, and then got super
the Great
weak.
Saiyaman. That's not canon. Is that canon, actually? I don't even know.
Yeah,
man.
It is. It is. It was in Z.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
What if Tanaka-kun had an energy drink?
What if Tanaka-kun was never listless?
What if he was never listless? What if it was Tanaka-kun is always hyper?
Wild. Wild.
What if
Actually, Isira said, what if Fairy Dance in SAO never happened? I agree.
Whoa.
Wait, Fairy Dance? What's Fairy Dance?
That's like the second half of the first season. With the sister love.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that's what it was called. But
The
yeah.
sister love.
Yeah. If that never happened, it would have been a great show. What if Sword Art Online never objectified women?
Wow.
It would be amazing. And it's funny because like I'm not usually the guy that's like, you know, ringing the bell of like, you know, white knightness, but it's like, God, it's just so blatant, guys.
Oh my God! In the chat, did you just read that?
Yes,
Chris
I
in the
did. I was like,
chat-
oh no.
Chris in the chat says, "What if May in Totoro was never found?"
Oh my God.
Oh my God!
That would be.
Oh
amazing.
jeez, our listeners, you know, great people, but dark
Savage.
minds. All right, should we go to the next one?
Yep, next one.
Okay. Next one is from Top Ranma. And Top Ranma says, on the 12 Steps episode, Kazuo wondered if there's anyone who listens to the AA podcast who didn't even like anime anymore, but just enjoys listening to the hosts. I figured you guys would be interested in knowing that this almost describes me when I first started listening back in 2016. I hadn't watched much anime since college, but my interest in anime and Japanese culture was rekindled when I started listening. When I started watching all the Ghibli movies with my daughter. So I Googled best anime podcast and found the AAA. I immediately loved the chemistry between the hosts as well as all the fun non-review, non-impression segments. So I signed up for the $7 tier, aka the hentai tier, lol. Even though I still wasn't watching much anime at the time, and I almost never saw any of the new shows the hosts were discussing. You guys are just that fun to listen to. I'm also pleased to report that now that I have a little bit more free time and still listening to the podcast every week, I've actually started watching one or two of the shows that the hosts are currently listening to. So I can actually keep up and get a lot more out of the news, discussion, and reviews. I can say that with certainty, you finally succeeded at making my anime addiction worse. Dude, awesome.
Aww.
Top Ranma, if you're listening, I hope you're enjoying anime. I hope you're still listening to us. I hope your kid loves anime too. Make her listen to us.
Yeah, he's posted in the Discord before.
Yes, no wonder the name was so familiar.
That's
I've
awesome.
definitely seen Top Ranma in the Discord too.
It only took us 400 and whatever episodes, guys, but we finally did it.
We finally did it. We got out of that.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
All right, so yeah, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. Last one here is from a frequent writer in Icy Rose. Says hello once again, AA host. God Eater was a pretty subpar anime adaptation of a Monster Hunter-like game that I watched after playing the game, but there was one flashback episode toward the end of the series that stood out as a really good episode. One that would have totally sold me on the anime had it been aired as the first episode. Have you ever encountered an anime that you thought was pretty average or not good, but there was one episode mixed into it that you thought was worth watching on its own, divorced from the rest of the series?
You know, a lot of my friends that don't like Cowboy Bebop will say this about Cowboy Bebop with the refrigerator episode. I forgot what it's called. The one where like they have something stinky in the refrigerator and they all my friends love that episode, even though some of them don't like Cowboy Bebop.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know. That's what I got.
It's always weird to me when people don't like Cowboy Bebop. It's like, what? How?
Yeah, I know. But hey, man, they exist.
Yeah.
They exist.
I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer for that question. That is a really difficult question.
I think it's called Toys in the Attic. I feel like that's the name.
The only one I can think of is in Fairy Tale, because I watched not all of. I watched like 100-something episodes because my boyfriend at the time loved Fairy Tale. And I really liked Urza, and there was one episode in like the tournament arc, and I wish I could remember. I can't remember it all, but where she has to it's a tournament arc, and like her game was like, they had like a big mansion filled with monsters, and you're supposed to bet on how many monsters you can kill, and then like you take this number and how many you kill out of that number, then you get points for them. She's like, I want all of them. And she beat all of them. And I was like, dude, this episode's really good. I heard it was really emotional at the end. I was crying that she like defeated all of them. She was like, awesome. That's the only thing I could think of.
You know what just came to mind? The only thing that's come to my mind at this time is in, oh God, what's the name of that show? School Live. Like that show overall, I don't like. But that first episode is so compelling and like grabs you and you're like, holy crap, what is going on? Like the way it flips itself at the end of the first episode, like that was a legitimately great first episode, but then the rest of the show just falls apart, so don't bother with the rest of it.
a lot of my friends also feel this way about Nana. Like my friends that end up dropping it always tell me that I was right to tell them that the first episode was pretty like masterfully made in the way of how organic it is. Like everything flows super well where you just want to see the two Nanas like become friends or whatever the heck they could become. But yeah, so I think Nana's first episode is really well done. And if you like the rest of it, that's up to you. But I mean, I love Nana for everyone. Everyone that listens to this podcast knows I'm obsessed. So.
Of course. All right, guys. So good news. We did it. We made it through an episode without the adult to guide us through.
We didn't burn Mitsuki's studio down.
Yeah, we did run a bit long, but whatever. We always do.
Podcast Daddy wasn't here.
Podcast Dad was not here, and we were fine.
I have now become one with all of these electronics that I'm running. I don't know if I can leave this spot. I feel like I've fused into it. So to everyone listening or watching live, I should say, after this, we're going to record a quick Hobby Addicts off the air, or maybe we could do it on air. I'll see. I'll think about it.
I mean, listen, Dad's not home, baby.
Yeah, we might just do, you know what I'm saying? Let's get crazy, guys. What are they going to do?
Dad's not home. We can do what we want.
What's he going to do? He can't stop us. So we're going to do a quick, really interesting and unique Hobby Addicts. We're going to have a very unique perspective here. So stick around for that. Also, afterwards, later on this evening, we're going to, instead of a quote-unquote after party, well, we are going to have an after party, but it's going to be over on Twitch, where we will be streaming the three of us, Enzo, Mandy, and myself, playing Divinity Original Sin 2. So if you're not already, follow all of us on Twitch. I'm sure we'll all stream from our own separate accounts, and you can watch all or one, whichever you want. I am twitch.tv/AAAKazuo. Mandy, you are twitch.tv/AAA_Mengi, Mangi.
Yep, M-A. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then Enzo, what's your Twitch?
My Twitch is AA_NZ, ENZY. Follow me on there. But please follow my Instagram instead.
True. Yeah, of course. Also follow us on the Twitters and the Instagrams.
At Enzo Badia.
At Enzo Badia.
Badia.
Mandy, you're at Sarquindi01. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
On Twitter. And I'm at AAAKazuo on Twitter. So thanks again for everybody who joined us live. We appreciate you being a part of the show and helping us out on all those times where we got stumped. Of course, if you want to, you can find us anytime on our website, AAApodcast.com. Go to AAApodcast.com/join to create an account, sign up for all the extra content like that Hobby Addicts, like that after party. If you want access to it, you got to sign up. Of course, head over to iTunes. Please subscribe on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. Help us be #1 in the rankings there. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/AAA podcast, or on Discord, where there is a link in the Facebook and also at the top page of the website. I also want to say thanks again to High Dive for kind of joining up with the show. We really appreciate you guys. And also J-List, who has always been
having High Dive is so awesome, man.
So it's really cool to have you guys kind of backing us and being able to partner up with you. So we appreciate that. Thanks again to all the listeners, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I love you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.